Even before I was born, I was already the most powerful Heavenly Emperor in this world. To avoid being perceived as a freak by my parents, I had intended to live out my life as an ordinary mortal upon being born. However, at the very moment my parents prepared to name me, the heavens and earth underwent a violent transformation as the Hongmeng Golden Tablet descended, exposing my existence even while I was still in my mother's womb, to all under the heavens. The Hongmeng Golden Tablet publishes a new ranking every 3 years. This time it was the ranking of cultivation bases. The higher the cultivation, the higher the rank. It reveals only the top 100 individuals. Every person whose name appears on the tablet is granted bountiful rewards. At this moment, even the most reclusive ancient monsters could no longer hide their shadows. All were exposed by the Golden Tablet. Some were even targeted by those desperate to eliminate them before they reached their full potential. Yet, they did not perish. On the contrary, their cultivation progressed even further. It was not until the Hongmeng Golden Tablet unveiled its rankings that their true identities were revealed. During this time, they had been practicing the Taoist arts of Li Xinglan. With the manifestations of a strand of primordial immortal qi and the revelation of the 100th ranked cultivator, the entire Xuanchen immortal realm was shaken to its core. If one possessing primordial immortal qi in the Saint King realm is merely ranked 100th, just how formidable must those ahead be? This is absurd beyond measure. Though if one considers it carefully, perhaps it is to be expected. The Xuanchen immortal realm is vast, and the number of those hiding their true strength is beyond counting. Even I, a mere golden core practitioner, am green with envy. It seems there is no hope for me to break into the top 100 in this lifetime. Upon hearing that the 100th rank was held by a Saint King, countless people were struck with awe. Many have never even heard of the Saint King realm, let alone possessed the potential to reach such heights in their lifetime. Yet, there are those born with mighty saint bodies who can ascend to the King realm with nothing more than effortless cultivation. At the same time, in Zizhou, one of the 3,000 great prefectures, an old man slowly opened his eyes, gazing in shock toward the Hongmeng Golden Tablet. To think it would be primordial immortal qi. If the reward for the 100th rank is already so abundant, I, Shui Wushang, am destined to receive something even greater. If that strand of primordial immortal qi falls into my hands, I am certain I can take another step forward. He was consumed by supreme confidence, for he stood at the great emperor realm. Deep within the secret chamber of a certain sect, a gaunt skeletal elder sat in meditation. Upon hearing the resonance of the Golden Tablet, he suddenly opened his eyes. To think that I, Li Xinglan, have faked my death and remained in seclusion for so many years, only to have my existence laid bare by this Hongmeng Golden Tablet. The old man's face was filled with terror. What exactly is the origin of this Hongmeng Golden Board? He had faked his death and gone into seclusion several centuries ago, hiding within the sect's secret chamber to cultivate in bitterness, solely to break through to the Saint Venerable realm before stepping back into the world. Yet he never expected to be directly exposed by the Golden Board. However, upon hearing the description of the reward, he was immediately overcome with wild joy. Xiantian immortal qi, to think it would be a treasure of such a caliber. Once I receive this reward, I will surely be able to break through to the Saint Venerable realm, and at that time, I will finally be able to seek out that old man and settle our blood feud. Very quickly, rank 99 was announced accordingly. Saint King realm, 2 strands of Xiantian immortal qi. Upon hearing this reward, everyone was astonished. Even though both are in the Saint King realm, to think this one would receive an extra strand of Xiantian immortal qi. This is far too extravagant. I would give anything for just 1 strand of Xiantian immortal qi. If it were given to me, I could certainly ascend directly to the Tribulation Transcendence realm. We are both Saint Kings, so why is there such a massive discrepancy in the rewards? A single strand of immortal qi is enough to create a vast gap in power. If I were Li Xinglan, I would be infuriated to death. The group seemed to increase incrementally. Could it be that by the time we reach the first rank, they will be awarding 100 strands of Xiantian immortal qi? Rank 99 already features 1 more strand than rank 100. It is quite clear that the rewards are constantly escalating. And further down the list, there may even appear treasures that we wouldn't dare to imagine. The pace of the Golden Board's announcements was extremely fast, with names constantly flickering into view, but when rank 90 was revealed, countless people were shaken. The name was Ye Weiyai, known as the Heaven-Reaching Demon King. Cultivation at the Saint King realm, with a reward of 5 strands of Xiantian immortal qi, and 1 piece of supreme-grade Xiantian treasure. What shocked the crowd was not the reward, but the name and the title itself. The Heaven-Reaching Demon King. Was he not slain several centuries ago? Why would he appear on the Golden Board? Is it possible for the dead to appear on the list? But even if he were on the list, what use is a reward to a dead man? Is this even a question? He must not have died. He has simply been hiding all this time. Now he has been dragged out into the light by this Hongmeng Golden Board. Is this truly reality or a deception? The Heaven-Reaching Demon King slaughtered so many in those years. There is no telling how many people in Taizhou sought his life, hunting him for hundreds of years. Everyone had long since assumed he was dead. He was long thought to be dead, yet it appears he has survived, which means his enemies will surely not let this go. As everyone had suspected, one of his foes is the Latian Holy Land, one of the supreme sanctuaries of the Tai province. Upon hearing this name, the sect master of the Holy Land flew into a rage. This Tongshan Demon King actually dares to remain among the living? I had assumed he had been ground into dust and scattered long ago. It is no wonder that after searching for hundreds of years, I could not find a trace of him. Under the sect master's fury, the aura of a saint sovereign erupted, causing the surrounding elders to tremble in fear. They understood perfectly well why the sect master was consumed by such wrath. It was because the Tongshan Demon King had once personally slain the sect master's wife and child. Even if you must dig 3 feet into the earth, you will find the Tongshan Demon King for me. I have cultivated in seclusion for hundreds of years, and finally reached the Saint Sovereign realm. At last I have the chance to exact my vengeance. The sect master roared, for he himself had never expected to have the opportunity to settle this blood feud personally. This time I truly owe a debt of gratitude to the Hongmeng Golden List. If not for the Golden List, I fear I would have remained ignorant forever. The Tongshan Demon King had indeed not perished. Hidden within a cave in the Qing province, not far from the Tai province, a middle-aged man concealed himself. Upon hearing the voice of the Golden List, he realized he was in grave danger. I have been exposed. This Golden List has unexpectedly unmasked me. I can no longer remain here. The Tongshan Demon King's face was etched with terror. He muttered to himself, having spent hundreds of years in hiding. He had believed his plan to be flawless and impenetrable. He was certain his enemies could never have known he was still alive. Yet now, exposed by the Golden List, his enemies would surely come knocking at his door. My cultivation has yet to fully recover. I cannot risk a direct confrontation with them. Once I secure this wisp of innate immortal chi, I will no longer need to hide. Because of the situation regarding the Tongshan Demon King, many realized a grave truth. The Hongmeng Golden List has the power to expose all secrets. Whether it be feigned death or cultivation techniques designed to conceal one's aura, before this list, such efforts are meaningless. At this moment, countless reclusive monsters and ancient ancestors who had been slumbering fell into a state of panic. This Hongmeng Golden List is truly bringing ruin upon us all. As for me, Li Xinglan, still within my mother's womb, after learning of this, I began to understand even those who feign death to escape can be tracked down. My concealment within my mother's womb would naturally be no exception. It seems that even before I am born, I am already destined to become famous throughout the world. However, I doubt anyone would suspect an unborn child, would they? Rank 89 Suo Tiank of the Saint Venerable Realm. The reward is a wisp of primordial violet energy. To think they would dare use a treasure of this magnitude as a prize. This is far too extravagant. This Suo Tianke has truly struck gold. Being in the Saint Venerable Realm, he will likely be able to advance directly to the perfection of the Quasi-Emperor realm once he absorbs this wisp of primordial violet energy. Is it truly that absurd? I have never even seen what primordial violet energy looks like. It is normal that you have never seen it. I have not seen it either. Truly, your words offer no insight whatsoever. Stop joking, I am here to enlighten you. This primordial violet energy is truly no ordinary item. Even a single wisp is enough to allow a cultivator to break through an entire major realm. Even if a quasi-emperor at the perfection stage were to receive it, they would have the opportunity to step directly into the Immortal Emperor realm. The 89th ranked individual has already begun absorbing the primordial violet energy. Everyone was left in shock, and because of this, they became even more expectant of the rewards to follow. More and more people are speculating as to who exactly created this primordial gold list, to be able to casually offer treasures of the level of primordial violet energy as rewards. It is truly too generous. As names were continuously announced, I gradually began to feel bored. I decided to retract my divine sense and prepare for a nap. Yet at that very moment I suddenly felt a warmth throughout my entire body, as if spirit energy was enveloping me, quietly refining my physique. This must be the nourishment my mother consumed. I was momentarily stunned. While this supplement is indeed quite comprehensive, as far as I am concerned, its effects are merely average. After all, I no longer have any need for such tonics. To be born as the strongest in heaven and earth, there is no one who can contend with me. Madam, please rest, the maid said, looking at Suo Wanning, reminding her in a soft voice. Suo Wanning nodded. Resting early and taking good care of the fetus was the most important thing for her at this moment. Once she lay down, I remained within her womb, feeling an unusual warmth. To be perfectly honest, this is the first time I have experienced the sensation of being an infant so clearly. This feeling of spending the whole day inside the womb with nothing to do, yet feeling so warm, is quite something. It is truly comfortable here. I have no desire to leave, yet soon I cannot help but feel a sense of irritation. If I am not born, I cannot pose as a hero, nor can I pursue the maidens in this world of cultivation. If I cannot suppress the heroes of this world, or behold the beauty of the realm, would my arrival not be in vain? I must be born, and I must be born with the posture of an invincible master. Thinking of this, a wave of drowsiness began to wash over me. Although I am the Heavenly Emperor, my cultivation has not yet fully materialized. I am still an immortal body. Slowly I drifted into a deep slumber. Rank 50, Xiao Chengzhe, Saint Venerable Realm. Reward, 10 wisps of primordial violet qi and 1 low-grade heavenly Dao artifact. The top 50 rankings have now been revealed. But what surprises many is that these 50 individuals are all below the Immortal Emperor realm. This is impossible. Are there really so few Immortal Emperors and Great Emperors? It seems that is indeed the case. Having reached the 50th rank and seeing only Saint Venerables, I fear we will not see a quasi-emperor until we hit the top 30. Do you truly believe that becoming an Immortal Emperor is so simple? Without millions of years of arduous cultivation, who would dare claim the title of Emperor? The path of the Immortal Emperor is as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Every single Immortal Emperor has climbed over a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood to reach their position. They must also endure the absolute solitude of endless eons. Throughout the 3,000 great realms, among all who have lived, how few are the Immortal Emperors whose names echo through the world? Thinking of these legendary emperors, the crowd became agitated once again. Everyone wishes to know who among them all stands at the very pinnacle. The 3,000 great realms. Within the dragon nation of the dragon continent, inside the imperial palace, Jun Lanyuan sat upon the dragon throne, resting his chin on his hand. He looked at the primordial golden ranking with a calm and indifferent expression. A mere ranking board dares to publicly disclose everyone's cultivation? How? Rather interesting. The corners of Jun Lanyuan's mouth curled slightly, revealing a faint, icy smile. Generally speaking, as long as one's cultivation reaches the Saint King realm or higher, most people will intentionally conceal their true strength, or possess powerful concealment techniques. Outsiders cannot see through them at all. It is the same for him, let alone an ordinary cultivator. Even if a heavenly emperor were to arrive in person, he might not see through his cultivation. This is because he has practiced the Mantian Jue, the greatest concealment technique in history. Yet now, this primordial golden ranking seems capable of seeing through even his cultivation. Otherwise, it would be impossible to reveal the cultivation levels of so many individuals at once. I wonder what my own ranking might be, and what kind of rewards I could possibly obtain. To speak the truth, Lim Yuan possesses an intense craving for the primordial purple qi. It is not just him. I fear that even those beings above the Immortal Emperor realm would be moved if they could obtain it, for the primordial purple qi is the key to becoming a heavenly emperor. As this thought crossed his mind, his anticipation for the rewards only grew. Time ticked away until nightfall. The primordial golden ranking had revealed 70 names in one breath. Yet, even reaching the 30th rank, those who appeared on the list were still within the Saint Venerable realm. Not a single quasi-emperor had appeared yet. What caught everyone off guard was that after revealing the 30th rank, the primordial golden ranking unexpectedly vanished. That is all for today. The announcement will continue tomorrow. The top 30 rankings had simply disappeared just like that. Is it over already? This is far too abrupt. I truly thought we would be able to see the full list in one sitting. How tedious. Why could they not just reveal them all at once? They insist on keeping us in a state of suspense. 70 names have been revealed, and yet we have not seen even a single quasi-emperor. This is truly difficult to fathom. Haha, you must understand. Between the Saint Venerable and the quasi-emperor lies the heavenly immortal realm. Once one breaks through to the quasi-emperor realm, their life force can rival the heavens themselves. I still wish to know. Out of Yuan Immortal Emperor, Qihan Immortal Emperor, and Mohu Immortal Emperor, these three most powerful immortal emperors, who will ultimately claim the top spot. These three are recognized as the strongest among all immortal emperors, and are the most terrifying existences, especially the immortal emperor Lin Yuan. He once fought 10,000 enemies alone, in his rage slaughtering over 10,000 Saint Venables. Among them were even 2 quasi-emperors, yet they were all easily crushed by him. Therefore, everyone is incredibly eager to see who will ultimately take the first, second, and third rankings. Early the next morning, at the Li family residence, I opened my eyes. Sufficient sleep achieved. Host, a new day has arrived. Shall we perform the daily check-in? Hearing the system's voice, I was instantly wide awake. I silently recited the command, and the check-in was successful. Reward for the host. Master-level poison refining skill. From this day forward, you are the new Grandmaster of Poison. In an instant, countless streams of information flooded my mind like a surging tide. Innumerable poison refining techniques and methods for identifying. Within this world, every refining method in this era is now completely within my grasp. I opened my eyes, inwardly astonished, as this art of poison making was far more terrifying than I had imagined. From exotic poisons that were colorless and odorless, to toxins that could drive a person to madness with a single breath. There were even venoms capable of causing one to suffer a chi deviation, truly peerless methods for those seeking to sabotage others. This check-in system is indeed formidable. By merely checking in 5 times, I have obtained treasures that others could spend their entire lives chasing in vain. Just then, a voice echoed from outside the west chamber. Madam, how are you faring? Is the child in your womb unharmed? It was the voice of my father, Li Xinglan. I was momentarily stunned. I had not expected him to visit my mother so early. It seems he is truly a devoted husband. Sue smiled gently. I am fine, all is well. She stroked her belly where I lay. That is good. I shall immediately instruct the servants to prepare a nourishing tonic. After Li Chongqing spoke with a smile, he turned to give orders to the servants outside. This tonic, beyond providing nourishment for pregnant women, serves primarily to nurture the fetus, ensuring the child is born with superior innate potential. I observed the world outside through my divine sense. At that moment, a new maidservant entered the room. Who are you? Su Wanning looked at this unfamiliar face and asked with suspicion. I immediately turned my focus toward her as well. By yesterday, I had already identified everyone within the Li household. Yet this was a maidservant I had never encountered before. My heart immediately stirred with vigilance. Madam, I am a new servant. The master ordered me to bring this nourishing medicine. The maidservant lowered her head respectfully. Although Su Wanning remained slightly suspicious, she nodded and told her to place it on the table. The maidservant deliberately added, Madam, please consume it while it is warm, otherwise it will lose its effectiveness. Having said that, she set the bowl down, turned, closed the door, and departed. Su Wanning did not rise immediately, while I stared intensely at the bowl of so-called nourishing medicine. In an instant, I was struck with shock. This was a potent abortion powder, and of the most lethal variety. As for me, having mastered the knowledge of every poison beneath the heavens, I recognized it with a single glance, much like the moment the Hongmeng Golden Tablet descended. Aside from that Duanthai powder, the rest are all nourishing medicinal herbs. If not for the Duanthai powder, it could naturally be considered a bowl of grand tonic. But since this ingredient is added, it immediately becomes a bowl of absolute poison. Duanthai powder has an effect similar to the abortifacient drugs from my previous life. Once consumed, the child in the womb will have their soul scattered and spirit destroyed. Their flesh and blood will be completely dissolved. It is incredibly ruthless. Who could it possibly be? Why would they act with such malice toward me? They are determined to drive me to my death, leaving no room for any alternative. Stepping toward that bowl of medicine in this critical moment, I abruptly sent a telepathic message. Mother, do not drink it. The sound exploded within her mind like a thunderclap. Su Wanning was struck as if by lightning. Her body shuddered violently. She lost her grip on the bowl and it fell to the floor on the spot. The bowl shattered, spilling the medicinal liquid across the floor. The sound instantly alarmed the servants outside. It cannot be. Only the person who delivered the medicine was there, yet they have vanished without a trace. My lady, what is wrong? My lady, are you unharmed? The servant saw the shattered bowl on the ground and the medicinal liquid soaking the floor. Looking at Su Wanning, who stood there in a daze, everyone was frightened out of their wits. This is the wife of the clan master. If anything happens to her, they will all face death. Someone hurriedly helped Su Wanning to the bed, while others rushed to notify the clan master. A matter of this magnitude is something could not possibly bear the responsibility for. Before long, Li Chongqing appeared out of thin air beside Su Wanning. His face was full of concern as he grasped Su Wanning's hand. He circulated his spiritual energy, first probing her condition, then checking my status within her womb. Only after confirming that we were both safe, did he finally heave a sigh of relief. How are you? What has happened? Li Chongqing asked with a face full of anxiety. Su Wanning did not speak immediately. She merely glanced at the servants nearby, and Li Cheng understood her intention at once. Everyone, leave. The servants retreated in a hurry, closing the door behind them as they exited. Now, there was no one else present. Speak. Li Chongqing opened his mouth once more. Husband, just a moment ago I heard the voice of our son, Su Wanning said, her tone filled with a mix of astonishment and joy. What terrified her was that the child in her womb could actually communicate with her. Yet what brought her joy was exactly this fact. Could she have misheard? The child had not yet been born. How could he possibly speak? Li Chongqing's brows furrowed tightly, his face full of doubt. It is true. Just now our son spoke to me, telling me not to drink that restorative tonic. I was so startled that I dropped the bowl. Su Wanning grew more and more agitated as she spoke. A son who could transmit his voice before even being born. This was undoubtedly a prodigy, and a peerless one at that. One must realize that spiritual consciousness transmission is a feat only achievable by those at the foundation establishment stage or higher. Could it be that the son in her womb had already achieved foundation establishment while still in the womb? If such a matter were spoken of, I fear no one would believe it. Be at the foundation establishment stage upon birth implies either being born with a top-tier divine physique or having a body nurtured into an heaven-defying embryo through the consumption of immense resources. Otherwise, it must be the bloodline of a demonic beast. The latter two possibilities are clearly not the case. Therefore, the only remaining possibility is the former. Her son most likely possesses an exceptionally powerful divine physique. Thinking of this, Su Wanning could not help but smile. Which mother does not hope for her children to be extraordinary? The stronger the child, the further they will travel in the future, and the longer they will live. After all, in this world without strength, one cannot hope for longevity. Only with sufficient strength can one truly be safe. Restorative tonic. Li Chongqing's brow darkened as his gaze fell upon the puddle of medicinal liquid on the floor. He walked over slowly, crouched down, touched a drop of the medicine with his fingertip, and brought it to his nose to smell it. A moment later, his expression changed abruptly. He stood up suddenly, realizing that this bowl of restorative tonic contained the fetus seed. You dare to put this substance into what my wife intended to drink? This is clearly an attempt to cut off his bloodline. This is a grudge that cannot coexist under the same heaven. Upon hearing this, Su Wanning's face turned deathly pale. A potion to induce a miscarriage, she dared not even imagine it. If she had truly consumed it just now, the child within her womb. At this thought, she fearfully cradled her lower abdomen. Moments later, she let out a breath of relief, smiling in fortune. Fortunately, the child was unharmed. Otherwise, she would never have forgiven herself for the rest of her life. Who brought the tonic to this courtyard today? Li Chongqing's fury was beyond containment. He bellowed harshly. The room door was pushed open, and the servants outside rushed in, kneeling down upon the ground, trembling like chaff in the wind. The tonic was brought by a newly arrived maid. She said it was sent by you, master. One maid spoke up, trembling. Who? Li Chongqing roared in rage. The servants looked at one another until the maid finally lowered her head. She was seen just a moment ago, but now it seems she has vanished. Hearing this, everyone understood the situation. Someone had infiltrated the Li estate to strike at the mistress. Had I not intervened in time, the young master would have perished before he was even born. Upon hearing this, the fury in Li Chongqing's eyes burned even brighter. He wanted to slay these incompetent fools on the spot to vent his rage. But at that very moment, my voice suddenly resonated within his mind. That maid has not fled far. She is hiding beneath the great tree 5 or 7 miles to the right. Go, and capture her immediately. Li Chongqing was abruptly stunned, his burning rage vanishing in an instant. He slowly turned his head, staring blankly at his wife's abdomen. Was that my son's voice just now? Could what Su Wanning said be true? That our son can truly communicate with us? To be capable of telepathic transmission before even being born? This is not merely the talent of a genius. This is the innate aptitude of a great emperor. Do not rejoice just yet. Go and pursue her quickly or she will escape. I reminded him again. Li Chongqing finally regained his senses. The corner of his mouth curled into a cold smile. Rest assured, my son, your father is, after all, in the nascent soul stage. As his words faded, his figure vanished in an instant. One must understand that a nascent soul cultivator can teleport thousands of zhang in a single thought. 50 zhang is not even worth mentioning. Before long, Li Chongqing returned, carrying a woman in his hand as if she were a mere chick. The woman kicked her limbs frantically, struggling with all her might, but it was fundamentally futile. In the presence of a nascent soul cultivator, she did not even possess the qualifications to resist. Release me. She continued to scream, clearly unaware that her plan had already been exposed. Who instructed you to poison them? Li Chongqing asked in a cold voice. The woman's entire body trembled, her eyes filled with disbelief. How did you know? With a look of disdain, I glanced at the medicinal liquid on the ground. Dongzhu suddenly recoiled. Impossible. How could you have discovered it? I have spent so long preparing for this day. It was not easy to infiltrate the Li family, and I waited so long for this opportunity to strike. The woman cried out in resentment. To infiltrate the Li family, she had spent an entire year begging for a position, and it was not until yesterday that she was finally chosen. That fetal-severing powder had cost her every bit of her savings. It was the most potent poison she could acquire, leaving no trace or scent. Without a master-level poison expert, it was fundamentally impossible to detect. She had long since investigated Su Wanning, who was merely a woman at the Golden Core stage, and had never once been exposed to poisons before. It was absolutely impossible for her to have seen that there was an issue with the soup. Once consumed, the child in her womb would undoubtedly perish. Yet now, she had not expected to fail. Could it be that a master of poisons was hidden by Su Wanning's side? She was unwilling to accept this. She was truly, utterly unwilling. Who instructed you? Li Chongqing gripped her throat tightly, his gaze cold and piercing. Haha, keep dreaming. I will not say a word, even in death. The woman glared fixedly at Li Chongqing. The head of the Du family roared in fury. His figure vanished abruptly, lunging straight toward the outside. Think she hated him so much. It appeared as if there was an irreconcilable blood feud between them. Yet he thought over it again and again, but simply could not recall when he had ever met her. Is it impossible to perform soul-searching? I naturally asked from the side. The moment these words were spoken, Li Chongqing's expression changed drastically. His pupils also contracted slightly. He looked toward Su Wanning's abdomen once more. How could my son know such a sinister soul-searching technique? He could not help but feel suspicious. Could I be the reincarnation of a demon god? Soul-searching. In the Aoshuanchen Immortal world, this is a forbidden art. It is far too treacherous. Although it has no ill effect on the caster, it is pure agony for the one subjected to it. At best, the soul is damaged, leaving the victim deranged and senile. At worst, the soul shatters instantly, leading to a sudden, agonizing death. The 3,000 great provinces have explicitly outlawed this technique. Anyone caught using it is dealt with as a demonic cultivator. The only outcome is to have one's soul scattered and be denied any chance of reincarnation. Therefore, soul searching is absolutely forbidden. And yet, I had mentioned this forbidden art so casually. This forced Li Changqing to contemplate the situation deeply. Where are the guards? Drag her to the interrogation hall. Interrogate her with the utmost severity. I want to see just how stubborn her resolve truly is. Li Changqing ordered in a cold voice. Understood. Several male servants rushed forward and dragged the woman away. Upon hearing that she was to be taken to the interrogation hall, the woman's face drained of all color, and she began to beg frantically for mercy. But how could Li Changqing possibly let her go? Once the woman had been taken away, Li Changqing dismissed all the servants from the room and sat quietly beside Su Wanning. What is the matter? Su Wanning looked at him with a hint of concern. I also heard our son's voice just now. As soon as these words were spoken, Su Wanning was immediately overjoyed. See, I told you. Our son truly can communicate. What else did he say to you? Li Changqing's expression turned solemn as he recounted everything that had just occurred, along with his own internal suspicions. How is this possible? How could my own son be? Upon hearing this, Su Wanning's expression shifted drastically, and she hurriedly shielded her belly. She was truly terrified that Li Changqing might act impulsively and cause harm to the child in a moment of passion. In her heart, the child she carried could never be any sort of demon god. Even I myself was somewhat bewildered by this notion. How did I suddenly become the reincarnation of a demon god? With a blank expression and no understanding of the situation, I had effectively been branded with the title of a demon god. Host soul-searching arts are strictly forbidden in the Xuanchen Immortal realm. Once deployed, one is treated as a demonic cultivator. Hearing the system's explanation, I finally came to a realization, though I could not help but complain internally. Damn it, if you knew that, why didn't you say so earlier? The host did not provide an opportunity. Immediately, I felt a twinge of shame. Truly, this could not be blamed on the system. The words from before were indeed spoken reflexively. After all, in my previous life, I read far too many novels. In those stories, a soul-searching art would be used at the slightest provocation, for those who stubbornly refused to reveal their secrets. A single use of the technique would lay bare everything they knew. Who could have imagined that in this world, such a technique would be the exclusive domain of demonic cultivators? It is truly a waste of such talent. If this existed in my past life, it would have been incredibly convenient for interrogating criminals. A single soul-searching art would reveal all, but now I must find a reasonable explanation, lest I be branded a demonic cultivator by my own parents. Truly unjust fate, I understand, but for our son to know even the soul-searching art, this looks highly irregular in every regard. What kind of child, not yet even born, already knows such sinister arts? If not the reincarnation of a demon god, I truly cannot conceive of any other possibility. Li Changqing furrowed his brows, his face still etched with deep concern. I am not the reincarnation of a demon god. I hurriedly sent a telepathic message to explain. Li Changqing immediately stared at Su Wanning's belly, his brows knitting even tighter. Then who are you exactly? I am your son, only that I have been capable of cultivation since 10 days ago. Later, when I used my divine sense to probe my surroundings, I happened to overhear mention of the soul-searching art, which is how I learned it. As these words were spoken, Li Changqing and Su Wanning were both struck dumb. Capable of cultivation 10 days ago? Their faces were filled with shock. What kind of peerless genius was this? Normal children are only able to begin their first contact with cultivation weeks or months after being born. Even an ordinary genius would require several days to reach this stage. Yet, their son had unexpectedly begun cultivating, while still within his mother's womb. What is your current cultivation level? Li Changqing asked hurriedly. I paused for a moment. I could not simply announce that I had reached the heaven and earth realm. If I were to say such a thing, who would believe it? There has never been an infant not yet born who has reached the pinnacle of the Xuanchen Immortal realm. It is simply too absurd. And so, I gave an answer that was comparatively more reasonable. Golden Core. As soon as those two words left my lips, Li Changqing and Su Wanning were both stunned into silence. A child still in the womb already at the Golden Core realm. This is no longer just a peerless genius, but a true monster of talent. Excellent, truly excellent. My efforts were not in vain. Who would have thought that a true dragon would appear in our family? My son, Li Xinglan, possesses the aptitude of a great emperor. Changqing threw his head back and laughed aloud, his entire being overcome with immense excitement. If his son is already at the Golden Core realm before birth, what heights will he reach once he is born? At this thought, Li Changqing was immediately filled with boundless confidence. Another 3 years will pass, and the contest for the position of young master of the Li clan is set to begin. Although I will only be 3 years old by then, with my current golden core cultivation, that will be of no concern. The position of clan head shall eventually be mine. Rest now, my son. Father will personally brew an invigorating soup to help you cultivate even faster. Li Chongqing affectionately rubbed Su Waning's belly. He turned and walked away, preparing to handle the task himself, to ensure that no one else could take advantage of any oversights. My son, can you hear your mother speaking? Su Waning gently stroked her belly and smiled tenderly. I responded with a sound and she was overjoyed. This is wonderful. From now on I can speak with you every day. Su Wanxing was filled with immense happiness that her own son, while still in her womb, could communicate with her. How many mothers in this world could ever experience such a miracle? In the days that followed, I would chat with Su Waning off and on. She told me many secrets regarding the Li clan, such as the fact that the Young Masters tournament would begin in 3 years. By then, the fathers of his brother's children would all be participating. Those so-called elder brothers and sisters have now mostly reached the second or third stage of the body refinement realm. In another 3 years, it is possible that some will reach the great circle of the body refinement realm. Being the young master is in effect equivalent to being the future patriarch. Originally, this position was meant to be inherited by the direct bloodline of the patriarch. However, last year, some within the Li clan raised objections. They argued that the position should be held by the one with the greatest strength. Thus, a new rule was established today. 3 years after I am born, the Young Master Grand Competition will be held. Nevertheless, I do not concern myself with it much. My aspirations have never been focused on the title of Li Clan Patriarch. What I desire to behold is a vast and boundless world. How could I remain forever hidden in this tiny corner? After chatting for about an hour, the Hongmeng Golden List appeared once again. Countless people throughout the Xuanchen Immortal realm looked up at the sky, filled with anticipation. This time, the top 30 rankings were announced, though the heavenly secrets were withheld. The rewards for the top 30 were not immediately disclosed. They would be distributed collectively after the rankings were fully concluded. Rank 29 Luotiank, Quasi-Emperor Realm, to think that even his rewards were concealed. Could it be that the rewards for those higher up are too heaven-defying? That must surely be the case. The previous ranks had already begun bestowing Hongmeng Violet Qi. What else could they possibly grant to those ranked higher? I dare not even imagine. Luotiank, I recognize that name. If a Quasi-Emperor is only ranked 29th, does that not mean everyone above him is at a level beyond the Quasi-Emperor stage? Since when did the Xuanchen Immortal Realm produce so many Quasi-Emperors? Was it not said that the Quasi-Emperor Realm is the most difficult to break through? Ultimately, it is simply that there are too many of those reclusive old monsters. This Luo Tianque seems to have lived for tens of thousands of years already. At this moment, within a secret chamber at the Luo clan ancestral grounds in Laozhou, Luo Tianque was sitting cross-legged in cultivation. Hearing the Hong Golden List announce his name, he was momentarily stunned. Am I only ranked 29th? He found it hard to believe. He had bitterly cultivated for tens of thousands of years. The result was unexpected. There were still 28 individuals stronger than him. That there were great emperors and immortal emperors stronger than him, he could accept. But if other quasi-emperors were also ranked above him, this left him feeling rather displeased. He was determined to see exactly who was ranked ahead of him. 28th place, Zhu Yan, of the quasi-emperor realm. Upon hearing this name, Lac Tianvi's expression grew even more unsightly. That damnable wretch, Ko Chuang Zhuan. But what right is he ranked higher than me? He truly felt it was utterly absurd. This was the first reaction of many. He had assumed he would be ranked higher on the Hongmeng Golden List. The two of them were old rivals who frequently sparred, yet every time he would emerge victorious. For him to be ranked below Ko Chuang Zhuyan, how could he possibly accept such a result? This will not do. Once the ranking concludes, I must find that old fellow and battle him once more. The Hongmeng Golden List continued to manifest, with names appearing one after another until the 15th rank, which was still a quasi-emperor. 15th place, Van Bactan, known as the Kunpeng Emperor, also a quasi-emperor. Why is the 15th rank still a quasi-emperor? To think there are so many quasi-emperors. I know of this Kunpeng Emperor. He cultivates the Kunpeng Great Art, capable of traveling 10,000 leagues in a single beat of his wings. Relying on this cultivation technique, he stepped into the quasi-emperor realm in mere tens of thousands of years. I wonder as we go higher, will they still be quasi-emperors? There have already been over a dozen, yet many great emperors and immortal emperors have yet to appear, leaving everyone filled with anticipation. Counting these quasi-emperors, there are only 20-some individuals, I whispered to myself. Having initially thought that beings such as quasi-emperors would be abundant, it appears now that the total number of quasi-emperors, great emperors, and immortal emperors combined is likely no more than 20, yet the population of the Huyan Tran immortal realm is vast. According to my mother, there are 3,000 great prefectures here. each with at least hundreds of millions of inhabitants, and that is a conservative estimate. Compared to Earth in my past life, the total population is immeasurably greater, and yet the number of those above the Emperor realm is a mere 20-odd people. It seems the threshold above the quasi-Emperor realm is a heaven-defying barrier. I simply wonder where I might rank. After all, I am of the Heaven and Earth realm. Surely I can make it into the top 3? Just a moment ago I had stealthily extracted quite a bit of information from my mother. The entire Huthin Tran Immortal realm has not seen a Heavenly Emperor emerge in over 100,000 years. Although there were legendary Heavenly Emperors who departed this realm in the past, one cannot rule out the possibility that old monsters have remained hidden, lying in wait until this day. Rest assured, host, the system evaluates based on the pinnacle of one's current realm. Although you are at the Heaven and Earth realm, you have already reached the state of perfection. The first rank is certain. The system spoke up at this moment. Hearing these words, I immediately smiled. It seems this first place position cannot escape me. I am merely waiting for my name to be announced. Are father and mother suspicious? After all, my name is identical to the one on the list. Ma Long, the Demon Dragon Emperor. The 14th ranked Great Emperor has finally appeared. Furthermore, unexpectedly, it is not of the human race, but the demon race. As soon as the name Ma Long appeared, the world was astonished. Who would have thought the demon race still possessed a great emperor? Where did this great emperor emerge from? We have never heard of him before. It is highly likely he is an ancient reclusive demon. Our human race is in danger this time. Since it is a demon emperor, we must find his location and eliminate him as soon as possible. I thought the Hongmeng Golden List would only announce humans, but it appears other races can also ascend the rankings. The demon race, the spirit race, the ghost race, and the human race. So far, we have only seen humans and demons. I wonder if the other two races possess great emperors as well? The sudden appearance of a great emperor among the demon race has made many feel deeply uneasy. After all, the demon race and the human race have always been mortal enemies. We devour one another. There has never been a moment of peace. Shuhang of the Blood Ancestor sect holds the rank of 13th, another great emperor. But unlike Malong, this name, Xue Wushang, is known to far too many people. Because this person cultivates heterodox arts and prefers to rely on consuming fresh blood to increase his cultivation. He has a particular fondness for the blood of virgins and young men. It can be said that his reputation for evil is notorious. He deserves to be struck down. That vile demon should have died. I did not expect this old man to still be alive. I thought he had perished long ago. To think he dared to remain in hiding for so long. It would be wonderful if some great emperor could kill him at their convenience. Before he disappeared, wasn't he merely a quasi-emperor? How could he suddenly become a great emperor? The path of demonic cultivators is exactly like this. Their cultivation advances with terrifying speed, but the price to pay is steep, as they must continuously consume blood to maintain their realm. With the true identity of the blood ancestor revealed, countless people were gnashing their teeth in rage, wishing they could tear him into 10,000 pieces on the spot. The Guiwu ancestor, a great emperor. The moment his name appeared, the crowd collectively gasped in shock. What is going on here? Even the 12th rank is already a great emperor. Then why are there only 2 quasi-emperors listed? That cannot be right. Were there not many more quasi-emperors displayed just moments ago? Why has the number suddenly dwindled to only 2? As for the Guiwu ancestor, was he not still quasi-emperor just a few years ago? When did he achieve such a breakthrough? So that is how it is. No wonder the number of quasi-emperors has dropped so drastically. Many must have advanced to the great emperor realm, which is truly enviable. But what of Duxuan Zhenren? I recall he was also a quasi-emperor. I met him 100 years ago. Why does he not appear on the rankings? Could it be that he too has reached the great emperor realm? That is impossible. He only attained the quasi-emperor stage a century ago. How could he step into the great emperor realm within such a short time? Unless he has fallen. As the ranking list continued to be revealed, more and more people began to notice the discrepancy. Several renowned quasi-emperors were simply absent from the list. Soon, observers deduced that the missing quasi-emperors had either achieved a breakthrough to the great emperor realm or had perished. Among them, Duxuan Zhenren was a notable exception. He hailed from the Du clan, a millenary family based in Mozo. At this moment, within the Du clan in Mozo, the clan head and an elder were gathered together, their expressions grim. What are we to do? Now everyone likely knows that our ancestor has fallen. The elder spoke, his face filled with anxiety. The ancestor he referred to was none other than Duxuan Zhenren. 8 years ago, Duxuan Zhenren practiced a malevolent cultivation technique, suffered a cultivation deviation, and ultimately self-destructed. However, they had kept this matter strictly hidden, never revealing it to the outside world. Outsiders had continued to believe that Duxuan Zhenren was still in seclusion, attempting to break through to the great emperor realm. But now that the Hongmeng Golden List has appeared, nothing can be concealed any longer. With Duxuan Zhenren's name missing, outsiders will undoubtedly surmise that the ancestor has passed away. If those enemies were to find out, they would surely descend upon our doorstep immediately. Another elder wiped cold sweat from his brow. Over these past years, the Du family has offended far too many people. Those individuals never dared to make a move, all because they feared the true monarch Du Shan. Once they learn he has perished, they will surely descend to exact their revenge immediately. Although those factions lack a quasi-emperor, they do possess Saint Venerables in their ranks, and their foundations are not much inferior to the Du families. If a full-scale war were to erupt, the Du family would undoubtedly suffer catastrophic losses. Issue the order. No disciples of the family are to step outside during this period. The entire clan is to enter a state of high alert. The Du family head gave the order in a low, grim voice. But at that very moment, a voice transmission suddenly echoed throughout the entire Du estate. All members of the Du family, come out and meet your end. Your ancestor has fallen. Today is the day of your destruction. The expressions of everyone in the family changed drastically as they hurried to look outside, but at the sight before them their legs went weak with terror. One by one they collapsed to the ground, their eyes wide with disbelief. There are so many of them. I see the Chen family, the Li family, and the master of the Vang family, to think they have all dared to come. It is not just them, the Gao and Mo families have arrived as well. These are all the very factions we have offended in the past. It is over. They have come straight to our doorstep. Now that the ancestor is no longer here, what do we have to defend ourselves? An elder's heart pounded violently, his chest heaving with uncontrolled panic. Without the decree of the quasi-emperor ancestor, how could they possibly hope to resist these people? Now, two paths lay before them. Bow their heads in submission or fight to the death. My Du family is not a collection of cowards. If they wish to fight, then let us fight. I, Du Tian, would rather die in battle than ever flee. The Du family head let out a furious roar, his figure vanishing in a blur as he charged straight outside. The other elders sighed upon witnessing this. It seemed that today they truly would not survive. Yet they did not flee. One by one, they followed him out to meet their fate. A grand battle is about to erupt. On the other side, the list for the great emperors of the Mu Shen forest. To think that the 10th place is actually a great emperor. I recognize this great emperor. The wood spirit sacred body, born with an affinity for all flora, can absorb the essence of plants to increase cultivation. Truly formidable. The rewards for the 10th place must be incredibly extravagant, correct? Why has no immortal emperor appeared yet? At this moment, I only wish to know which immortal emperor will ultimately claim the first rank. Everyone waited in anticipation. Among the three most powerful, widely recognized immortal emperors, who would ultimately stand at the summit. Furthermore, the reward for the first place was certain to be heaven-defying. The 9th, 8th, and 7th rankings were swiftly announced one after another, but to everyone's surprise, they were all still great emperors. By the time the 6th rank was reached, an immortal emperor finally appeared. Zhangsun Jingrong, the Zhangsun Immortal Emperor of the Immortal Emperor realm. It has arrived. The Zhangsun Immortal Emperor. He is an immortal emperor who achieved his breakthrough in later times. However, that occurred several millennia ago. Back then, the entire Xuanchen Immortal realm celebrated on his behalf. It is said that he possesses the longevity physique. As long as he sustains no fatal injuries, his lifespan is effectively endless. It was precisely because of this constitution that he survived for tens of thousands of years, persevering until he reached the Immortal Emperor breakthrough. To a certain extent, it does not matter if an Immortal Emperor's talent is mediocre. What is truly important is to live long enough. If I possessed such a sacred physique, I would remain in seclusion indefinitely. I would never emerge until I attained the Immortal Emperor realm. Since the 6th rank is already an Immortal Emperor, those ahead of him must surely be Immortal Emperors as well. The 5th rank was quickly announced. 5th place, Luo Qinghan, the Qinghan Immortal Emperor of the Immortal Emperor realm. The moment the three characters Luo Qinghan appeared, the entire Xuanchen Immortal realm erupted in fervor. How could this be? The Qinghan Immortal Emperor is unexpectedly only ranked 5th. This is simply too absurd. She is one of the three most powerful recognized Immortal Emperors after all. This makes no sense. This Hongmeng Gold Tablet must be flawed. I refuse to believe that the Qinghan Immortal Emperor is only ranked 5th. She is so powerful. How could she possibly be relegated to 5th place? Following the revelation of the Qinghan Immortal Emperor's 5th place ranking, countless individuals found it impossible to accept, and those who worshipped her were immediately devastated, even beginning to doubt the authenticity of the Hongmeng Gold Tablet. Meanwhile, in Qingzhou, within the sect master's palace of the Qingling Immortal Sect, a cold and exquisite woman sat cross-legged, with ice-blue spiritual energy and Tao aura swirling around her, her presence terrifying to the extreme. Upon hearing the voice of the Hongmeng Golden ranking, she suddenly widened her eyes. I never expected to be ranked only 5th. Lu Qinghan furrowed her brows, her heart filled with bewilderment. Could it be that a new Immortal Emperor has emerged? Within the 6 realms, she knew of only a few individuals who currently held the title of Immortal Emperor. The eldest Immortal Emperor had already been announced, and the others were Jun Lanyuan, Mo Hu, and herself. But now, the Hongmeng Golden ranking had placed her at 5th position. This meant that, excluding Jun Lanyuan and Mo Hu, there were unexpectedly 2 other immortal emperors. Who on earth could they be? She had secretly achieved a breakthrough to the Immortal Emperor realm without anyone knowing, yet even so, she should not have been relegated to 5th place. Thinking of this, Li Xinglan felt a sudden surge of resentment. She decisively ceased her cultivation, stood up, walked out of the palace, and looked up at the Hongmeng Golden ranking. I wish to see who exactly stands above me. Longzhou's Jun Lanyuan was also gazing at the Hongmeng Golden ranking, his heart filled with doubt. He had not expected Li Xinglan to be ranked only 5th. He had crossed blades with both Li Xinglan and Mo Hu in the past. Although he had emerged victorious in the end, every battle had been far from easy. The strength of those two was absolutely not to be underestimated. If Li Xinglan was only ranked 5th, then did this not imply that his own position was no longer firmly secured at the top? Originally, Jun Lanyuan had been extremely confident in his ranking. In his view, if he were not 1st, he would at least be 2nd. But seeing Li Xinglan relegated to 5th, the confidence in his heart immediately vanished by more than half. 4th place, Li Xuanzhu, Immortal Emperor Realm. As the announcement echoed from the Golden ranking, everyone was stunned. For this name was one they had never heard of before. Li Xuanzhu. Who is this? How has there never been any word of such a person? If someone had truly broken through to the Immortal Emperor realm, it would surely have triggered a celestial anomaly. But why had there been no news of this whatsoever? This Li Xuanzhu was unexpectedly stronger than the Qinghan Immortal Emperor, and furthermore had remained hidden so deeply. Were it not for the Hongmeng Golden ranking, it is likely that no one in this world would have known such an immortal emperor existed. Could Li Xuanzhu be an ancestor of some Li clan? In the various major prefectures of the Xuanqian immortal realm, among them the most renowned ancient clans are the Li, the Chen, the Xiao, the Ye, and the Tang clans. These clans possess vast ancestral bloodlines, with their descendants spread across the entire realm. Thus, many instinctively speculate that this Li Xuanzhu must be an immortal emperor from one of these ancient Li clans. Li Xuanzhu. I have never heard this name before. Jun Lanyuan muttered softly while looking at the list. He did not recognize this individual either. It is highly probable that this person has been in seclusion all this time, only revealing themselves today because of the Hongmeng Golden list. Truly, hidden dragons and crouching tigers are everywhere. Were it not for this list, even he would not have known. To think that the Xuanqian immortal realm possesses so many reclusive immortal emperors. 3rd place, Li Kangzhuan, the Demon Fox Immortal Emperor, Immortal Emperor Realm. In the following moment, the 3rd place ranking was announced. Upon hearing this name, Jun Lanyuan's eyes widened in shock. That Demon Fox actually only placed 3rd? Then who is in 2nd place? Is it me or someone else? In his original estimation, the ranking should have seen Li Xinglan in 3rd, the demon in 2nd, and himself in 1st. But now the entire ranking has been thrown into disarray. It follows no conventional logic at all. The Demon Fox is so formidable, yet he could only secure 3rd place. Does this mean 2nd place could not possibly be me? Heavens, is this true or false? The Demon Fox Immortal Emperor unexpectedly only holds the 3rd rank. So, is the Yuan Immortal Emperor ultimately in 1st place or 2nd? By all rights, he should be in 1st place. It appears the title of the strongest Immortal Emperor will be revealed momentarily. I only wonder who this mysterious entity could be, to have actually surpassed the Demon Fox Immortal Emperor. With the Demon Fox Immortal Emperor ranked only 3rd, the world was left in utter astonishment. In the hearts of countless people, he was already an existence of terrifying power. Yet, the outcome shows there are still 2 people standing above him. At this moment, Li Xinglan was also shaken. The Demon Fox possesses strength no less than his own, yet he only ranked 3rd. So, is the person in 2nd place Jun Lanyuan, or yet another reclusive immortal emperor? In a certain mountain cave within the 5 provinces, countless demon clans prostrated themselves upon the ground. A man sat cross-legged upon the royal throne. His features were handsome and stern, his robust frame draped in a tiger-skin mantle. The aura radiating from him was so terrifying that it left those nearby struggling to breathe. He was none other than Li Xinglan, the Demon Fox Immortal Emperor. He was a man who grew up in the cracks between the human race and the demon race. Abandoned by his biological parents in his youth, he was raised by a fox demon. Relying on his myriad beast's sacred body, he continuously grew stronger while unifying the demon clans, eventually attaining the Immortal Emperor realm after tens of thousands of years. At this moment, Li Xinglan slowly opened his eyes. I did not expect to only be ranked 3rd, he muttered, his eyes filled with disbelief. Then, what rank is Jun Lanyuan? It cannot be that he is also ranked 2nd. If Jun Lanyuan were 1 rank above him, he could perhaps accept it. After all, he truly could not defeat him. But if anyone else were placed above him, he would not be convinced. It was incomprehensible that someone else now stood above him. Who could remain calm in such a situation? Rank 2. Jun, Yuan Immortal Emperor, Immortal Emperor Realm. As the 2nd rank was announced, the entire Xuanqian immortal world erupted into chaos. What? Lin Yuan Immortal Emperor is only ranked 2nd? Then who is the one in first place? This is impossible. This primordial golden ranking must certainly be flawed. How could Lin Yuan Immortal Emperor not be ranked first? It is one thing for the Demon Fox Immortal Emperor to be third, but for Lin Yuan Immortal Emperor to only reach second place. This is simply too absurd. In the hearts of countless people, Jun Lin Yuan was the strongest powerhouse among all immortal emperors. He had once suppressed an entire era, leaving the heaven-gifted geniuses of the world unable to hold their heads high. Yet now he was unexpectedly forced to accept second place. Just what kind of monster could the one in first place be? Seeing Jun Lin Yuan ranked only second, Li Xinglan was even more shocked than when he had seen his own third-place ranking. Although he desperately refused to admit it in his heart, Jun Lin Yuan was truly far stronger than him. He was supposed to be the undisputed first, yet unexpectedly, he had only attained the second spot. At the same time, however, Li Xinglan felt a sense of secret satisfaction. At the very least, Jun Lin Yuan did not occupy the top position. But the question remained, who was number one? Thinking of this, Li Xinglan felt as if claws were scratching at his heart, a being capable of suppressing Jun Lin Yuan. Who could it be? Is it truly so? Witnessing Jun Lingxuan ranked merely second, Luo Qinghan was momentarily stunned. She did not know why, but upon seeing that Jun Lingxuan could not reach the top spot, beyond the shock, she felt a sense of relief deep within her heart. At the very least, her own fifth-place ranking no longer seemed so difficult to accept. If Jun Lingxuan, who possessed such immense strength, could only rank second, then who could possibly occupy the first? Is it the Immortal Emperor? She raised her wine cup to drain it. But upon further reflection, she felt that was unlikely. The Heavenly Emperor has not manifested for far too long. Given your reputation for conduct, it is impossible that you would remain completely silent. In the end, the lightning tribulation will be terrifying to the extreme, unless one possesses a supreme Dharma treasure to ward it off. So how could one manage such a feat? Without such means, it is fundamentally impossible to deceive the world, for only a treasure of that caliber could shroud the heavens and conceal one's true nature. I fear that only the legendary Chaos-grade treasures could suffice, yet such items have existed only in legends until now. I did not expect to rank only second. Jun Lingxuan's expression darkened slightly. Evidently, this result was difficult for him to accept. It was not as if he had never considered the possibility of being ranked second, but when the reality unfolded before him, he still found it inconceivable. He has suppressed countless peers, a powerhouse of his generation who should rightfully have been the undisputed first, yet now he has been firmly surpassed by another. Has the Hongmeng Gold list made an error, or is this individual truly so formidable? Why have I never heard of this person? If such a reclusive immortal emperor truly existed, it would be impossible for him to be completely unaware. After all, years ago, when he attained the rank of immortal emperor, he traversed the entirety of the Xuanchen immortal realm, specifically to seek out worthy opponents. Who exactly is Hao Yi? At this moment, across the entire Xuanchen immortal realm, everyone gazed intently at the Hongmeng Gold list. What followed next was the rank of first place. Everyone waited with bated breath, desperate to know who could possibly surpass Jun Lingxuan. At that very instant, the sky suddenly erupted with thunderous echoes. Amidst the flashing lightning and roaring thunder, illusory projections of gods and demons manifested across the firmament. Soon after, they bowed in unison toward the Hongmeng Gold list, as if intentionally tempering their aura. A deafening roar shook the 9 heavens. Countless people were left with ringing ears. Their faces turned deathly pale, and with a face full of terror they gazed upon this earth-shaking, heaven-defying phenomenon. It was merely the announcement of the first-place rank. Who could have expected it to trigger such a terrifying anomaly of heaven and earth? If this is merely the announcement, just how peerless must the one ranked first truly be? Rank 1, Li Xinglan, Heaven-Earth Realm. The moment these words descended, the entire Xuanchen immortal world fell into a dead silence. Everyone was left utterly stunned. It was several breaths before anyone finally regained their senses. The Heaven-Earth Realm. This is a Heavenly Emperor. Who is Li Xinglan? Why have I never heard this name before? It has been 100,000 years. A full 100,000 years. Who would have thought that a Heavenly Emperor still existed within the Xuanchen immortal world? Were it not for the Hongmeng Golden ranking, I fear I would never have known in this lifetime that such a Heavenly Emperor still walks among us. Is it the former Heavenly Emperor? But theme does not match. Remind me, who was the previous Heavenly Emperor? It seems his name was the Hongwang Heavenly Emperor. Clearly, this is not the case. Therefore, this Heavenly Emperor without a title is likely an reclusive ancient monster who has just achieved a breakthrough. After the initial shock, countless people felt a sense of bewilderment. If he is a newly ascended Heavenly Emperor, why was there not a single sign of a celestial phenomenon beforehand? Logically speaking, the higher the realm, no one expected this, especially since the lightning tribulation for a breakthrough to the Heavenly Emperor realm should have shaken the entire Xuanchen immortal world. Yet this Li Xinglan, a man whom no one recognizes, has inexplicably become the head of the list. This is truly bizarre. To think he is genuinely a heavenly emperor, no wonder he could secure the top spot. Li Xinglan looked up at the rankings, her eyes slightly vacant. As an immortal emperor, she understood better than anyone just how difficult it is to break through to the heavenly emperor realm. For countless years, she has remained stuck in the mid-stage of the immortal emperor realm, unable to even touch the threshold of the late stage. To advance even one step further is as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Therefore, losing to a heavenly emperor was not an injustice in the slightest. But the question remains, who exactly is this heavenly emperor? She has lived for so long, yet she has never heard the name Li Xinglan. Who can cultivate to the heavenly emperor realm can absolutely not be a nameless nobody. She has crossed paths with countless prodigies. As long as they were individuals of note, she remembered them all. Yet Li Xinglan is a name she is hearing for the very first time. Turning it over in her mind, she could only conceive of two possibilities. Either this is an ancient monster who has been in seclusion for countless eons, having only recently achieved a breakthrough to the heavenly emperor realm, or this is a heavenly emperor who has existed for a long time, yet has never truly passed away. Unless this ancient heavenly emperor was revealed today by the Hongmeng Golden ranking, she could not fathom any other explanation. Heavenly Emperor Jun Lanyuan suddenly rose from his dragon throne, his gaze fixed intently upon the Hongmeng Golden ranking. He could not have imagined that the one ranked first would actually be in the heaven and earth realm. He had originally assumed that at most it would be a slightly more powerful, immortal emperor. He took a single step, his entire aura surging directly into the heavens. Do not be deceived by his status as the strongest immortal emperor. In the presence of a true heavenly emperor, he is nothing. From the great emperor realm and above, each gap between major cultivation realms represents a difference as vast as the heavens and the earth. An immortal emperor can easily crush a great emperor, just as a great emperor can easily grind a quasi-emperor into dust. Therefore, a heavenly emperor can naturally crush immortal emperors like them, as easily as turning over one's hand. This point is beyond all doubt. As the first place was revealed to be in the heaven and earth realm, all of Jun Lanwan's unwillingness and arrogance vanished. Replacing it was the realization that for anyone else to covet the top spot would be mere delusion. This is the only heavenly emperor to have revealed themselves in this world. If he does not deserve the first place, then who does? Yet the problem remains the same. Li Xinglan, even the elders, were shaken. Jun Lanyuan furrowed his brows, his face full of bewilderment. He and Li Xinglan were much the same. Having lived for so many years, they had encountered almost every peerless genius of their generation. Those individuals were either beaten into submission by them, or killed outright. But regarding this Li Xinglan, he did not have the slightest impression. Could it truly be an ancient, reclusive, heavenly emperor? It seems this Xuanchen immortal realm is far deeper than I imagined, especially that Li Xuanchu and this Li Xinglan. If not for the appearance of the Hongmeng Golden ranking, who could have guessed that two such existences remained hidden? It seems I must remain humble from here on out, lest I carelessly provoke that heavenly emperor. Whether I die is a trivial matter, but I fear implicating my entire clan and sect. Jun Lanyuan muttered softly. He had always been the type to strike down anyone who dared to defy him. After all, in the world of cultivation, much is decided by the strength of one's fists. But now, things are different. An unknown heavenly emperor hangs like a blade over his head. Who knows if one day we might cross paths with someone, and whether that individual might be connected to that heavenly emperor? Therefore, it is far more prudent to remain low-key for now. How interesting. I never expected a heavenly emperor to still exist. If the opportunity arises, I truly wish to cross blades with him. Inside the Xuandong, Li Xingshuan curled his lips into a smile. Not only was he unafraid, but his face was also brimming with excitement. Engaging in combat with powerhouses has always been his favorite pastime. It allows him to accumulate combat experience while learning something new in the process. Perhaps one might even forge a genuine friendship. His bond with Jun Lanyuan and Li Xinglan was precisely forged through such battles. To outsiders, they appeared as irreconcilable enemies. Yet in reality, the relationship between the three had always been excellent. In private, they would gather together, drinking wine and discussing the Tao. Li Xinglan. I have never heard of this name. Could he be a member of the Eternal Li clan? If he truly belonged to that branch of the Li clan, the clan would have made it known to the entire world long ago that Li Xuanju might have the capability, but this Li Xinglan is hard to gauge. If not for the Hongmeng Golden rankings, I fear no one would know that the Xuanchen immortal world possessed such an immortal emperor. How intriguing. I only wonder what the reward for the top rank truly is. At this very moment in the Li family of the Xia Kingdom, Li Xinglan is this name not identical to that of our unborn son. When Li Chongqing heard the Hongmeng Golden rankings announce the name of the top rank, he stood there completely stunned. The name of a dignified immortal emperor was unexpectedly identical to his own unborn son's. Is this merely a coincidence, or is there something else at play? Could it be that his son is actually an immortal emperor? But as soon as this thought emerged, he immediately dismissed it himself. It must simply be a shared name. It is certainly just a coincidence. The Xuanchen immortal world is vast. There are countless people who share the same name. Su Wanning shook her head as well. She naturally did not believe her son could be an immortal emperor. This matter is simply too absurd. What child is born an immortal emperor the moment they enter this world? That would no longer be a peerless genius. That would clearly be the heavenly Tao itself reincarnating within her womb. Perhaps the reincarnation of the heavenly Tao is not entirely impossible. Li Changqing pondered this, and could not help but mutter to himself, though he immediately let out a bitter laugh. He wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and turned toward my mother's womb, asking with a smile, "Son, you aren't actually an immortal emperor, are you?" Even though he knew it was impossible, he could not help but make a joke. "In truth, I really am an immortal emperor. Look, even our names are identical," I replied with complete composure. Consequently, Li Changqing let out a hearty laugh. "You little brat, you haven't even been born yet, and you're already teasing your father. How interesting." He obviously assumed I was merely jesting with him. After all, a child who is an immortal emperor before birth. Who would believe such a claim? It is nothing more than an absurd tale. Throughout the entire Xuanchen immortal realm, there has never been such an absurd occurrence, not to mention the eternal aristocratic families, the ancient demon lineages, the holy sons of the sacred lands, or even the most heaven-defying prodigies. It is absolutely impossible for any of them to be an immortal emperor while still in the womb. In his view, given that his own aptitude and that of Su Waning were only average, how could they possibly sire a son who is an immortal emperor? It was a completely fantastical notion. However, he also knew that his son was truly a genius. Not yet born, he already possessed a golden core cultivation base, and his future achievements would certainly not be low, so it was not entirely impossible for him to cultivate into an immortal emperor eventually. "Son, you must strive for greatness. As for becoming an immortal emperor, father believes in you." The cultivation rankings have been fully announced. Now, the distribution of rewards begins. As the voice of the Hongmeng Golden Tablet resonated, the rewards for everyone began to be distributed one by one. Within a secret chamber in Huangzhou, Lu Mingyuan gripped a stream of innate immortal qi of immense density bestowed by the Hongmeng. Innate immortal qi, surging with boundless spiritual energy. He was so stirred that he laughed aloud. "Ha ha ha, innate immortal qi. Today I shall surely break through to the Saint Venerable realm." Even before he began to refine it, he could already sense the terrifying power hidden within. As long as he absorbed this stream of immortal qi into his body, ascending to the Saint Venerable realm was a certainty. "Once I become a Saint Venerable, I will go out and settle the score with them." Lu Mingyuan let out a cold laugh, drew in the innate immortal qi, and immediately sat cross-legged to begin refinement. Elsewhere, Luo Qinghe gazed at the reward that had fallen into his hands, his pupils contracting involuntarily. 20 streams of primordial violet qi, plus a stream of chaos treasure qi, which could imbue a heavenly Tao magical treasure with the aura of chaos, thereby transforming it into a supreme treasure of chaos. To think that the reward for 5th place could be so extravagant. These 20 strands of primordial purple qi alone are enough for her to confidently push toward the perfection stage of the immortal emperor realm. With the addition of this strand of chaos treasure qi, and given that she already possesses a heavenly Tao Dharma treasure in her hand, she could refine it into a chaos supreme treasure within a single day. Her combat prowess would naturally skyrocket. When that time comes to compete against Jun Linyuan and Li Kongshuan, she will undoubtedly emerge victorious. However, she also realizes that having received so much, the rewards for the 2 ranks above her must be even greater. But the thing that truly captures her curiosity is the reward for 1st place. If she has received this much already, how extravagant must the 1st place prize be? Lost in thought, Luo Qinghe immediately decides to enter secluded meditation. She will not emerge until she has reached the perfection stage of the immortal emperor realm. As soon as the words leave her lips, she vanishes. Li Kongshuan gazes at his own rewards, filled with astonishment. 25 strands of primordial purple qi, a chaos supreme treasure, and 1 strand of chaos treasure qi. These rewards are truly magnificent. With this, he now possesses 2 chaos supreme treasures. His combat prowess will surely surge, and with such a wealth of primordial purple qi, he might truly have a chance to challenge the legendary quasi-god emperor realm. Yet even so, the matter weighing most heavily on his mind is still the 1st place reward. What exactly could the prize for 1st place be? It is truly enough to pique one's curiosity. Jun Linyuan surveys his own rewards, unable to suppress a smile. 30 strands of primordial purple qi, 2 chaos supreme treasures, and a 9th grade tribulation breaking pill. This is something specifically prepared for him to break through to the immortal emperor realm. These 30 strands of primordial purple qi are sufficient for him to make a direct push toward the god emperor realm. That 9th grade tribulation breaking pill is a masterstroke. With the aid of this pill, his chances of breaking through to the god emperor realm are nearly absolute. With this in mind, he looks up at the primordial golden tablet once more. He can only wonder what the person in 1st place has actually received. Meanwhile, in the Li family of the Lower Kingdom, Li Xinglan wonders, what grade of treasure is this first-place reward? 50 strands of primordial purple chi, 3 Chaos Supreme treasures, and a newborn divine beast. Because you have not yet been born, the reward will be bestowed upon your arrival into this world. The 3 sounds of the primordial golden tablet echo simultaneously within my mind. Not long after, the world descends into a deep silence. Everyone was now thoroughly convinced. The ranking list had concluded. 3 years from now, the sacred body rankings will be announced. As soon as these words faded, the Grand Mist Golden List vanished completely, and the sky returned to its clear state, as if nothing had ever transpired. Was it truly over just like that? After it descended before everyone's eyes, I could not help but sigh inwardly. The system, unable to bear my ignorance any longer, directly began to explain what these rewards truly signified. Upon hearing its explanation, I realized just how absurd my previous words had been. It turns out that a single strand of Grand Mist Violet Chi is something countless cultivators strive for their entire lives without success. The only reason I felt these rewards were ordinary was because I fundamentally lacked an understanding of the value system within the Xuanchen Immortal world. Here, 1 strand of Grand Mist Violet Chi is enough for many cultivators to break through an entire major realm. Currently, I hold 50 strands in my possession. To say nothing of ordinary cultivators, even a Saint Venerable could rely on these 50 strands. To surge from a Saint Venerable straight to an Immortal Emperor, bridging the 2 major realms of Quasi-Emperor and Great Emperor in the process. From this, one can see just how heaven-defying these Grand Mist Violet Chi rewards truly are. As for the Chaos Supreme treasures, they are artifacts born at the very dawn of creation. The cultivation world classifies artifacts in the Xuanchen Immortal world, from lowest to highest, as post-heaven spirit treasures, pre-heaven spirit treasures, post-heaven supreme treasures, heavenly Tao supreme treasures, and chaos supreme treasures. Furthermore, each tier is subdivided into low-grade, mid-grade, high-grade, and top-grade. For an ordinary sect, possessing even a single spirit treasure is enough to serve as a sect-protecting artifact. If they were to possess a pre-heaven spirit treasure, it would be even more impossible to disturb easily. Taking my current situation in the Li family as an example. Although we are considered reputable within the Xia Kingdom, the entire clan possesses only a single high-grade spirit treasure. Moreover, unless we face a moment of life and death, it would never be brought out easily. Yet now, upon my birth, the Li Mansion has obtained 3 Chaos Supreme treasures for nothing. If news of this were to spread, let alone the Immortal Emperors, I fear the entire Xuanchen Immortal world would go into a frenzy. As for the final reward, the Juvenile Chi Beast, there is no need to even elaborate. It is one of the most powerful spirit beast races in this world. Spirit beasts, also known as spirit pets among cultivators, are likewise divided into grades: mortal, earth, heaven, and divine. And what I am about to obtain is a divine grade, a true divine beast cub. Once he understood just how inconceivable these things were, Li Xinglan's attitude changed instantly. This was not mere stinginess. This was generosity carried to the extreme. Before I have even been born, I already stand at a height that countless people fail to reach in an entire lifetime. I could not help but sigh with emotion. I am now eager to enter the world. I want to see for myself just how magnificent this world truly is. As night fell, in the Patriarch's Hall, Li Changqing and an elder sat together in an endless discussion. Today, the Hongmeng Golden Rankings bestowed its rewards, and it is said that several great emperors have already used this opportunity to break through and ascend to immortality. The spiritual energy between heaven and earth seems to have grown several times denser. I also feel my golden core beginning to tremble. I fear a breakthrough is imminent. Lin Yuan Immortal Emperor has already attained godhood. He was the first. Qinghan Immortal Emperor seems to have also reached the standard of a god emperor, lacking only a single step. But as for that Li Xinglan, what is his true origin? It truly makes one envious. He truly be a member of our Eternal Li clan? And what if he is not? We in the Eternal Li clan have long since severed all ties. That is true. The Patriarch's eldest son is about to be born soon. Have you and the madam decided on a name yet? As these words were spoken, everyone turned their eyes toward Li Changqing, who sat at the head of the table. Li Changqing spoke indifferently. Li Xinglan. As this name was uttered, all the elders present were stunned into silence. Patriarch, are you also thinking about the matters regarding that heavenly emperor? The elders had yet to fully process the situation. I said my son's name is Li Xinglan. Hearing this, the elders' bodies trembled. One by one they stood up abruptly, their expressions shifting drastically. You dare to share a name with the heavenly emperor? You fool, do you intend to bring ruin upon the entire Li clan? To share both the name and surname of the heavenly emperor, is that not simply courting death? One must know that the heavenly emperor is no ordinary being. One shares a name with such an existence, they are easily entangled in karmic ties. Since ancient times, many children have been born with names that happen to coincide with a mighty figure. The first reaction of many, assuming the Hongmeng Golden Rankings were involved, was that the child would be unable to cultivate for the rest of their life. Naturally, there are a rare few with indomitable fates. People of heaven-defying fortune who, by sharing a name, became entangled with the karma of a mighty one, and from there, fostered endless predestined connections. But such individuals are, after all, only a select few. Most people are unwilling to let their descendants share a name with a supreme powerhouse. It is considered a great taboo, especially for beings who have transcended the great emperor realm. We have long since forgotten the reason. Ever since Lin Wuyuan broke through to the great emperor realm, the Long family decreed that all future descendants were strictly forbidden from bearing the same name as him. Not only the Long family, but many other clans established similar rules. Within a name, the two characters Aotian must absolutely never appear in succession. Since then, fewer and fewer people in the world have dared to call out the name Aotian. But now Li Chongqing not only wants his son to share the same name as the Heavenly Emperor, but the surname is also identical. This is unacceptable. This name must not be used. Quickly, send him away. Call him Li Huang or Li Hong. Anything will do. With a look of shock, the elders realized that acting in this manner would implicate the entire Li family in karmic consequences. We simply cannot withstand the karma of the Heavenly Emperor. Patriarch, even if you do not consider your son, you should at least consider the Li family. An elder was so terrified his voice trembled, yet Li Chongqing remained completely unmoved. I chose this name for my son myself. As for the so-called heavenly retribution, my son is a peerless genius. What is there to fear? It is decided. My son shall be called Li Tianlong. If there is any karma to be borne, I shall bear it myself. Having said this, Li Chongqing stood up and left. Watching his retreating figure, an elder let out an angry sigh. How reckless. To share a name with the Heavenly Emperor, the Patriarch truly has no regard for his own life. Perhaps we should truly consider replacing the Patriarch. The young master selection trial begins in 3 years. By then, there will surely be an opportunity. Internal relations within the Li family have always been complex. While these elders are ostensibly the kinsmen of Li Chongqing, the position of Patriarch was bequeathed to Li Chongqing by the ancestor himself, and they have always harbored ulterior motives. Furthermore, the young master selection trial was proposed by them in the first place. The winner of the trial will surely be one of our sons. By then, that brat will only be 3 years old. How could he possibly compete with our children? An elder sneered. Their children are between 7 and 10 years old. 3 years from now, they will all be 10 or older. Even if their cultivation base is not exceptionally high, they could at least reach the 7th or 8th level of body refining. But Li Chongqing's son will only be 3 years old in 3 years. What level of cultivation can a 3-year-old child possibly possess? Reaching the 2nd level of body refining would be an extraordinary stroke of luck, unless his son was born at the Foundation Establishment realm. Otherwise, it is absolutely impossible for him to defeat our children. Inside the clan leader's manor, Li Chongqing returned to his room and gently caressed Su Wanning's abdomen, his face filled with tenderness. My wife, how are you feeling? Is there any discomfort in your belly? I am fine, everything is well. Our son was just talking to me a moment ago. Su Wanning replied with a smile. Ever since he began speaking to her, she no longer felt lonely. Furthermore, whenever there was any abnormality, I would immediately alert her, so she was not worried in the slightest. Now, we simply need to wait quietly for my birth. Just moments ago, they were discussing our son's name. They were debating whether giving our son the same name and surname as the Heavenly Emperor would truly cause any issues. Li Chongqing hesitated for a moment, and hearing this, I could not help but be stunned. Can names really be subject to such rules? Why is that? Is there some hidden significance? I asked directly. I have always been quite fond of this name of mine. I have gone by this name in both my past and present lives. To suddenly change it, I would certainly not be accustomed to it. Thus, Li Chongqing recounted the history behind the rules of naming in detail. Upon hearing this, I was left completely bewildered. I never dreamed that a mere name could be governed by so many regulations. One cannot share a name with powerful experts, nor can one share a name with the great figures of the ancient era. These are all grave taboos. But upon careful reflection, similar beliefs existed in my past life, that one's name should not be too heavy or significant. That if one's destiny is not strong enough, they might not be able to bear the weight of such a name. However, in this world of cultivation, these rules are magnified infinitely. Father, rest assured, I am fine, let us keep this name. I spoke with absolute firmness. I am the Heavenly Emperor, so how could I possibly change my name? Since you like it, we shall not change it. Li Chongqing replied with a smile, appearing calm and detached, though in his heart, he was still somewhat apprehensive. After all, that was the name of the Heavenly Emperor. He was uncertain whether his son's destiny would truly be enough to suppress such a name. In the end, Li Chongqing made his decision. His son would be named Li Xinglan, and no matter how the Li clan or the world might oppose it, he would not waver. His mind was made up. It mattered not who tried to intervene. As time passed, the turmoil surrounding the naming. Following this, the Li family began preparations for my birth celebration. Although many felt that Li Xinglan was not fit for his position, Li Chongqing remained the ultimate authority as the family head. After complaining for a few days, the clan members ceased their grumbling and busied themselves with the banquet preparations. Within the inner circles of the Li family, at least for the moment, the outward appearance remained one of unity. No one dared to intentionally cause trouble, and no one continued to scheme against one another, all of them waiting for my arrival. Naturally, such order within the Li family did not mean that external clans were just as settled. Time slipped away rapidly, and in the blink of an eye, 7 days had passed. Only 2 days remained until my birth, and the results of the interrogation regarding the woman who attempted to poison me had finally surfaced. Inside the interrogation chamber of the discipline hall, a dim crimson light bathed the room. A woman, her clothes tattered and her body covered in lash marks, with blood dripping from her head and breathing only in shallow gasps, slumped in her chair. This was the very person who had attempted to poison me. Under the brutal torture inflicted upon her for an entire week, she could no longer endure. She had finally confessed. Chongqing stepped into the chamber, his expression icy as he stared down at the woman. She had confessed that the Wang clan had orchestrated the plot. Her true identity was the daughter of a general from a neighboring country, a general who was among those slain by our forces years ago. 5 years ago, she infiltrated our kingdom seeking an opportunity for revenge, until she was discovered by the Wang clan. Instead of exposing her, the Wang clan helped her infiltrate the Li estate as a maid, providing her the chance to attempt the poisoning, reported Leng Qing, the elder of the discipline hall. Upon hearing this, not a ripple of emotion disturbed Li Changqing's eyes. His lips merely curled into a sneer of utter contempt. He had slaughtered countless foes over the years. The vengeance of a mere general's daughter was of no consequence to him. What he could not tolerate was that the Wang clan dared to lay a hand on his son. Assemble all disciples, and follow me to eradicate the Wang clan. Should we not first seek an audience with the kingdom's lord? The elder of the discipline hall cautiously inquired. Execute first, report later. Li Changqing replied with only those 4 words. 2 hours later, the Wang clan, a family that had been quite formidable within the Xia kingdom, was completely wiped out. Within their ancestral grounds, blood flowed like a river, and corpses littered the earth. Not even the guard dogs at the Wang estate survived, and, in their thorough destruction, even the chicken eggs were crushed. It is the complete and utter eradication of the roots. Li Changqing, you did not have the mandate of the sovereign, yet you took it upon yourself to lead men to annihilate my Wang family. This is in direct violation of the imperial decree. The patriarch of the family's face was pale, his left hand clutching the stump of his severed right arm. He glared at Li Changqing with venomous resentment. When you sent men to infiltrate the Li residence and attempted to poison my son, did you ever consider the sovereign's mandate then? Furthermore, those I have brought today are my clan disciples, not the soldiers of the imperial court. By what right must I request the sovereign's permission to eradicate your Wang family? At most, this only invalidates the peace treaty between our 2 houses. Li Changqing's voice was icy. Among the major clans of the Xia kingdom, there exists a signed peace treaty, stipulating that clans are forbidden from engaging in private slaughter against one another. If there are grievances, they are to be settled fairly upon the dueling arena. Yet now, Li Changqing was using his actions to show everyone the truth. That treaty has been completely shredded by him. From this day forward, the peace treaty between the clans is no longer in effect. You have annihilated my Wang family today. The other clans will absolutely not stand idly by and watch. Evil begets evil, he shrieked until his voice grew hoarse. Are you finished speaking? If so, then you may die. I have no desire to waste any more words. A flash of cold light erupted, the blade returned to its sheath, and the head of the Wang patriarch rolled onto the ground. Everyone, heed my command. Purge the entire Wang state. Leave not a single soul alive. Investigate the branch families as well. As long as they are members of the Wang family remaining within the Xia kingdom, slaughter them all. Li Changqing commanded in a stern voice. Once a move is made, one must be thorough, for leaving even one member of the Wang family alive could eventually become a calamity for the Li family. That woman who administered the poison is the best example. Had I not intervened in time, the consequences would have been unimaginable. From this event, Li Changqing has come to a full realization. To show mercy to one's enemy is to be cruel to oneself and one's kin. Understood, the members of the Li clan replied in unison, immediately commencing the total purge of the Wang family. In an instant, the skies above the Wang estate were stained with the crimson aura of blood, and even the common folk nearby could smell the thick, nauseating stench of death, yet no one dared to utter a single word. After all, the one wielding the blade is the Li family, a great clan even more fearsome than the Wang family. My father is truly ruthless, but I like it. I used my divine sense to watch the entire process. From the moment Li Changqing left the punishment hall to summon the disciples and elders to march upon the Wang family, and finally, to the thorough investigation of the entire affair, ending in the complete eradication of the Wang clan. Throughout this series of actions, one could say Li Changqing was ruthless and cold-blooded. He spared no one, regardless of age or gender. Such a fatherly figure truly possesses an imposing aura, which explains why Mother grew so fond of him. In this period, Su Wanning and I have been conversing constantly. Initially I was respectful, addressing her as Mother, but later, I gradually changed the way I addressed her to Old Mother. At first, Su Wanning was somewhat unaccustomed to it, but after I explained my reasoning, she actually grew quite fond of the title. When we talk, she always enjoys telling me stories about Li Changqing's past. She recounts how heroic he was, how formidable he stood, and how he achieved great merits time and time again. Listening to it left me spellbound. Now, witnessing this scene of him annihilating the Wang family, I finally understand. Any woman would be moved by such a man. My son, in 2 more days you will finally be able to come out into the world. Are you looking forward to it? In any case, Mother is looking forward to it very much. Su Wanning rubbed her belly and asked with a smile, I also long to emerge quickly. I replied immediately, for although I can perceive the outside world through my divine sense while trapped within my mother's womb, I am ultimately unable to act. Such days of confinement have become tiresome over time. Fortunately, in 2 days I shall truly be born, and during this time, I have not been idle. I have been checking in daily as usual. Though most of the daily rewards have been items like body-refining pills, foundation establishment pills, and other things that are of no use to me. However, on one occasion I received a purple-grade reward, Mastery of Talismans. After receiving this reward, I instantly mastered the methods to draw over 1,000 types of talismans, reaching a level where I can conjure them at will. At the same time, I have grasped the system's check-in mechanics. The daily rewards vary in quality, depending entirely on one's fortune. But as long as one checks in continuously for a month, it is guaranteed to trigger a reward of purple quality or higher. And if one checks in continuously for a year, a 7-colored quality reward is guaranteed to appear. Aside from these pity mechanisms, what one receives from a normal, it is clear that my luck is quite formidable. Including the novice rewards, I have already received 2 purple tier rewards during this period. One is Mastery of Poison Cultivation, and the other is Mastery of Talisman Creation. Next, I only need to wait for my birth. Time flies, and in 2 days the water shall break. The young master is about to be born. It's time, the water has broken. On this day, the entire Li family household was buzzing with restless activity. This was because Li Xinglan was finally about to be born. Outside the main hall, Patriarch Li Changcheng paced back and forth, consumed by anxiety. A group of elders, accompanied by their daughters, stood guard outside the chamber, craning their necks to catch a glimpse inside. Although there was little harmony among them usually, they had all gathered here at this moment. Why is it taking so long? Li Changcheng could not hide his agitation. Seeing a stick of incense burn to ashes without a sound from within, he feared a difficult labor. That is impossible. The child's mother is at the Golden Ascension realm. How could there be complications? At that very moment, the cry of a newborn infant finally echoed from within the house. Everyone turned their heads in unison, and a look of immense joy immediately appeared on Li Changcheng's face. My son is born, but in the very next second, a thunderous boom erupted. The heavens and the earth underwent a sudden transformation. The once clear blue sky and white clouds instantly turned into a sheet of blood red. Immediately following, dark clouds gathered, and lightning churned violently. This is a phenomenon of the heavens and earth, one elder exclaimed in shock. He then stared intensely at the chamber door, his expression filled with awe. Could this phenomenon have been triggered by the birth of Li Xinglan? Could it be that he is a naturally born saint body? Some had faces turned pale with dread. No, this is divine retribution for sharing a name with the Heavenly Emperor. Looking at the thick blood-red lightning illuminating the sky, everyone felt a chill run down their spines. Some believed this was a divine punishment, while others suspected it to be the herald of a saint body. Open the doors, quickly, Li Changcheng shouted in a flurry. Very quickly, the chamber doors swung open. The midwife stepped out, cradling an exquisitely adorable infant. Patriarch Li, this is your son, Li Xinglan. But as soon as the midwife carried me outside, the thunder in the sky intensified, roaring as if some primal ferocious beast were howling in rage. A bolt of crimson lightning crashed down with a deafening roar, reducing a massive tree in the courtyard to smoldering ash. Panic erupted among the crowd, everyone trembling in terror. It is finished. This is surely a heavenly tribulation, the price for sharing a name with the Heavenly Emperor. Our Li family is doomed. Li Changqing, if you do not change the child's name immediately, the entire clan will be buried alongside him. We warned you to change it long ago, yet you refuse to listen. Are you satisfied now? The Li family is about to be destroyed because of your folly. The elders, fueled by a mixture of shock and fury, clamored for Li Changqing to rename the child at once. They were certain that if he failed to act, the Li family would meet a swift and ruinous end this very day. Meanwhile, the storm clouds above continued to gather and expand. In a mere moment, the entire Xia kingdom and its neighboring territories were shrouded in darkness. Countless people looked up at the heavens, struck by profound dread. Could it be that the Hongmeng Golden List has descended once more? In every street and alley, pedestrians halted in their tracks to stare at the sky, while those indoors flung open their windows to catch a glimpse of the phenomenon. So many years had passed, but the scene bore a striking resemblance to the descent of the Hongmeng Golden List, leading many to assume it had returned. However, it was not long before others noticed something amiss. This was not the manifestation of the Hongmeng Golden List. It appeared to be a different heavenly omen, perhaps signaling the birth of a divine physique or the emergence of a supreme artifact. Yet these storm clouds were far more terrifying than any before, possessing a raw, aggressive intent. This was clearly no ordinary omen. It was a heavenly tribulation, a divine wrath directed at a talent so great that the heavens itself felt threatened. There must be a peerless genius being born. The heavenly Tao perceives a threat and has unleashed this heavenly punishment, seeking to eradicate him before he can ever reach his true potential. Could it be true? Which family is welcoming a newborn today? It is the son of the Li family head, Li Changqing. He was born just today, and they have been preparing a celebration. Let us hasten there at once to see. Within the capital of the Xia Kingdom, a man with a stern, imposing face stood suspended in the air, draped in yellow dragon robes, and crowned as a sovereign. This was the ruler of the Xia Kingdom. Xiao Chengyan stood with his hands clasped, gazing calmly at the anomaly in the heavens. Heavenly punishment. I never imagined the son of Li Changqing would be enough to defy the heavens to this extent. His deep, calculating eyes fixed upon the Li family estate. As he caught sight of the infant in Li Changqing's arms, a faint, imperceptible glimmer of killing intent flickered in the depths of his gaze. Li Changqing's influence had grown far too great, enough to overshadow the throne itself. This was a point that Xiao Chengyan had long been wary of. A few days ago, Li Changqing had taken it upon himself to lead the clan members and annihilate the royal family. Although he said nothing, he remained deeply vigilant in his heart. He could even sense that Li Changqing's current strength already surpassed his own. Yet, Chengqing had always hidden it exceptionally well, as if deliberately concealing his edge to avoid arousing his suspicion. Such a person capable of such restraint is the most dangerous of all. I want to see whether your son can truly withstand this heaven's judgment. Xiao Qingyan let out a cold laugh. If Li Changqing's son were to die under the heaven's judgment, Li Changqing would undoubtedly suffer a devastating blow. At that moment, he would only need to find a pretext to reclaim the military authority and drive Li Changqing out of the game. Otherwise, as long as Li Changqing holds military power, this throne of his will never be secure. At the same time, the various great and small clans of the Xia Kingdom appeared one after another. Every one of them turned their gaze toward the Li family, for they all knew today was the day Li Changqing's son was born, and this heaven's judgment had descended at this exact moment. It was clear that the heaven's judgment was directed specifically at that child. This suggests that the child's aptitude is so heaven-defying that even the heavenly Tao cannot tolerate his existence. A single Li Changqing is already enough to make us gasp for air. If his son is even more heaven-defying than he is, how are we supposed to survive? Having one Li Changqing is enough. There must absolutely not be a second one. This is the heaven's judgment. A heaven-sent prodigy capable of inciting the jealousy of the heavenly Tao. There are very few such individuals in the entire world, but every one of those who ultimately survive almost invariably becomes a supreme powerhouse. Jun Linyuan is the most classic example, and no one expected that a mere lower kingdom would dare to produce such a monster. For a time, some were joyous while others were anxious, but naturally, even more people hoped he would not survive this heaven's judgment. Because anyone who can survive a heaven's judgment is in the future almost synonymous with being invincible. Moreover, he is the son of Li Changqing. Many clans harbor old grudges against Li Changqing. They only refrained from seeking revenge due to fear of his strength. And now, the remaining sliver of hope within their hearts was thoroughly extinguished. Outside, the crimson lightning tribulation in the sky grew increasingly terrifying. Countless blood-colored serpents of lightning roiled within the thunderclouds, emitting a fearsome aura. It is over. The Heavenly Emperor is truly enraged. An elder's face was filled with despair. In their eyes, this was not a case of the Heavenly Tao envying talent, but the wrath of the Heavenly Emperor himself. Because this child shared the same name and surname as the Heavenly Emperor, he had invited this retribution. The group of elders heaved deep, heavy sighs. The other children they had brought were so frightened that their faces turned deathly pale. Some even began to wail in terror. Only one child maintained a calm expression. His lips even curled into a faint smile. His name was Li Yunfeng, the son of the great elder. My son, do not fear. As long as I, your father, am here, even if the heavens fall, I will bear it for you. Li Changqing's eyes were filled with profound compassion. He gently brushed his finger against my small face. The next moment his expression turned somber. He handed me over to the midwife and looked up at the sky. With a clench of his right hand, a 3-foot-long sword appeared within his palm. He took a single step, his entire being surging straight toward the firmament. By the time he reappeared, he stood suspended in midair, directly confronting the terrifying heavenly tribulation. This scene was clearly witnessed by countless people across the lower realms. No one expected Li Changqing to attempt to confront the heavenly punishment single-handedly. He let out a sharp cry, and his long sword shimmered with a cold, piercing light. It was clear that he intended to intercept this tribulation on my behalf. Seeing this, many could not help but shake their heads. How foolish. A mere nascent soul realm cultivator dares to imagine he can withstand the fury of the Heavenly Emperor. A delusional dream. It seems we must already begin searching for a successor to the sect. It was stated from the beginning that the Heavenly Emperor's name must not be used recklessly, yet he insisted on ignoring the warning. The elders were convinced that Li Changqing was certain to perish. No matter how formidable a nascent soul realm cultivator might be, in their eyes, it was absolutely impossible to resist the Heavenly Emperor. Meanwhile, held in the arms of the midwife, I felt not a flicker of panic. This was because I was currently inheriting the power that truly belonged to me. The cultivation base being transferred would not trigger the lightning tribulation. The process had already been simplified. Rest assured, host. Transmission complete. You have achieved perfect mastery over this power. As the cold voice of the system faded, I felt an endless surge of power coursing through my body. It seemed that with a single thought, I could annihilate everyone present. In a mere blink of an eye, I could reduce the entire Xia kingdom to ashes, and a single finger would suffice to level thousands of miles of territory. In this moment, I truly became a Heavenly Emperor, supreme above all. Moreover, I was at the pinnacle of the Heavenly Emperor realm. Upon obtaining this power, I lifted my head to the heavens and saw my father standing there, bracing against the heavenly tribulation in my stead. In that instant, my heart stirred. My father is merely in the nascent soul realm, yet he dared to confront such a heaven's wrath for my sake. Since that is the case, how could I ever allow him to be harmed? I turned my gaze back toward the thunderclouds, only to see the lightning within surging violently, as if it would fully erupt in the next moment. I forcefully opened my mouth, but only the cry of an infant escaped my lips. This scene left everyone present stunned, but what followed was a sight they would never forget for the rest of their lives. The thunderclouds, which had previously covered the sky with overwhelming power, suddenly recoiled like a startled rabbit. Following my cry, they rapidly dissipated in all directions. In a mere moment, the clouds vanished. The thunder and lightning disappeared completely, and the heavens and earth returned to tranquility. In an instant, the eyes of everyone present were locked onto me. Standing in the air, Li Changqing watched the thunderclouds scatter. His face was filled with astonishment. But he soon seemed to realize something, and he quickly turned back to descend. Was this the Heavenly Emperor showing mercy? Could it be that the Heavenly Emperor spared the Li family out of consideration for this child? Li Xinglan truly has great fortune. To share the same name as the Heavenly Emperor and yet remain unscathed, it is truly miraculous. His future is bound to be bright. The elders gazed at my chubby form, their eyes gleaming with intensity. To have survived such a heaven's wrath proved that the Heavenly Emperor held no grudge, and perhaps even secretly sanctioned this name. If that is the case, then it means my future is truly limitless. At this moment, many of the elders began calculating within their own hearts. Some were filled with joy, while others were deeply troubled. In particular, the first elder's expression was so somber that it seemed as if water could be squeezed from his face. Li Yunzheng, standing beside him, gritted his teeth in frustration. He had originally thought he could eliminate a potential rival, but unexpectedly a truly terrifying dark horse had emerged instead. You are all fine now. Please proceed to the banquet hall, as the guests will be arriving soon. Li Changqing cast a cold, sharp glance at the elders present. He had heard every single word those men had spoken just moments ago. If it were not for the celebration today, he would have undoubtedly taken action to teach these people a lesson. Even if they were his own flesh and blood, he would show absolutely no mercy. The elders heard this and immediately understood the gravity of the situation. Everyone could see that Li Changqing had been driven to anger. Thus, one by one, they hurriedly nodded and retreated to attend to the incoming guests. Once everyone had departed, Li Changqing smiled and looked toward the midwife. How is my wife? Is she all right? Reporting to the clan head, the madame is in excellent health. After resting for a few days, she will be able to leave her bed. Many thanks. Li Changqing immediately smiled, reached out to take a wooden box filled with gold, silver, and jewels, and handed it directly to the midwife. Many thanks, clan head Li. Upon seeing the reward, the midwife could not stop beaming with delight. Take her away, then escort her to the banquet. Shortly after, two tall guards approached. Once the midwife and the others had left, Li Changqing entered the room. Upon stepping inside, he saw Su Wanning lying on the bed with a rosy complexion and such astonishing vitality that she did not look at all like a woman who had just given birth. Seeing this, he finally felt completely at ease. Quickly, let me see our son, Su Wanning said, her face filled with anticipation. Li Changqing smiled and hurriedly brought the child over. Su Wanning took him into her arms and gazed at her plump, fair-skinned son, her face filled with unconcealable affection. He is so adorable even as such a small infant. Although she had already scanned me with her divine sense beforehand, knowing that I would not grow up to be ordinary. Seeing it with her own eyes, she still could not help but be struck by my appearance. I lamented inwardly, yet all I could manage were the babbling cries of an infant. Li Changqing and his wife may not have understood, yet nothing could hide the look of doting affection on their faces. Son, what is your cultivation base now? Li Changqing asked suddenly. He was well aware that I had reached the Golden Core realm even while in the womb, and now that so much time had passed, perhaps my cultivation had progressed even further. I contemplated this. If I were to release my Heavenly Emperor aura now, it would be far too overwhelming for my parents to bear. It would be better to first release a trace of nascent soul aura, just enough to be symbolic. The next moment, I gently released a sliver of nascent soul pressure. Upon sensing this surge of energy, Li Changqing and Su Wanning were left completely stunned. Nascent soul. Li Changqing's eyes went wide. To be a nascent soul cultivator the moment one is born. What manner of heaven-defying monster have I sired? Even Su Wanning covered her mouth in shock, looking at me in her arms, with an expression of pure astonishment. Even she had not expected to give birth to such a peerless prodigy. In this world, what mother would not hope for her child to possess peerless talent? The more formidable the offspring, the broader their future path. As a mother, she would naturally feel more at ease. Haha, I knew it. I, Li Changqing, possess the bearing of a great emperor. My son is a nascent soul cultivator the moment he is born. Look across the entire world. Whose child could be this heaven-defying? Li Changqing laughed so heartily he could hardly contain himself. All right. Hurry outside and attend to the guests. Su Wanning could not help but laugh as she urged him, then whispered to me, Son, you must protect your mother well. In this household, apart from your father, you are the only other nascent soul cultivator. Li Changqing instructed me with great seriousness. The scene was undeniably comical. Who would have thought that a father would entrust the protection of his wife to a newborn infant? Yet I was truly capable of it. And furthermore, I was not merely a second nascent soul cultivator. I was the one and only Heavenly Emperor. Li Changqing spoke a few more words before standing up to leave. If it were any other father, he would surely have remained by the bedside, watching the child all day long. Afraid that I might be unaccustomed to strangers, Li Changqing was aware of my true circumstances, for I was capable of sound transmission, while still within the womb, possessing knowledge far beyond my years. I could hardly be considered a normal infant. Once the room fell silent, I immediately transmitted my voice to Mother. I am sleepy, I shall rest for a while. Su Wanning heard this and felt a flicker of confusion. Theoretically, one who has reached the nascent soul realm no longer needs sleep to restore their spirit. Not only could one go a night without rest, but even a month of wakefulness would have no impact on one's vitality. Yet she said nothing, merely smiling with gentle affection. Then sleep, my child. I closed my eyes, appearing to be in a deep slumber. In truth, I was examining the rewards bestowed upon me by the Hongmeng Golden List. These rewards had been distributed the moment I was born, only to be sequestered within the system's storage space. The next moment, a space resembling a vast void manifested within my consciousness. 3 treasures of chaos, each brimming with profound power, lay before me. Beside them sat a small creature, a white tiger cub, Fluffy. Was this truly a divine beast? As I pondered, the system panel automatically manifested, White Tiger Divine Beast, capable of guarding various resources. Upon seeing this, I was stunned. To be more of an advantage of a divine beast, far surpassing the potential of ancient demonic beasts. Even more surprising was the system's integrated analysis function. It was truly convenient. Following that, I turned my gaze toward the 3 chaos treasures. The first item was a spear, black from head to tip. The shaft was coiled with a thick, ominous aura. Its sinister presence was enough to make one's soul shudder at a mere glance. Soul Oath Spear, Chaos Treasure. The system provided a brief introduction. These artifacts do not follow standard grading. Being Chaos Treasures, each possesses its own unique and singular capabilities. The Soul Oath Spear's primary effect is to bypass the physical body entirely, inflicting direct damage upon the soul while simultaneously devouring it, feeding that strength back into the spear, making it grow stronger with every kill, along with 3 accompanying divine abilities. Seeing this, I instantly realized, is this not a weapon of true absolute destruction? A single strike, and no matter how formidable one's physical body may be, they shall perish. Next, I examined the second item, a small wooden gourd. Its mouth was wrapped in a delicate, slender vine, an exquisite and dainty design that appeared unremarkable at first glance. Yet its power was anything but trivial. Heaven-devouring gourd, Chaos Treasure. This gourd possesses the ability to swallow all things under heaven and refine them into the purest essence, which can then be utilized to reinforce and temper one's other artifacts, enhancing physical constitution, refining the bloodline. It could refine almost anything. My eyes lit up immediately upon seeing this. This Dharma treasure is truly formidable. Finally, my gaze fell upon the third supreme treasure. It was a small black tower, its body wreathed in gloomy pitch-black energy, radiating an eerie, malevolent aura that harbored a sense of sinister wickedness. The demon-suppressing tower is a supreme chaos treasure, This tower can suppress enemies, refine their souls, and even transform their physical bodies into demon corpses. Once refined, the victim's cultivation realm will be weakened by 50%. These 3 supreme chaos treasures are each terrifyingly powerful. They are indeed worthy of being the highest tier artifacts in this world. Naturally, none of these are common items. Take them out for me, I commanded, secretly pleased. Understood, the system replied. Immediately after, the 3 supreme chaos treasures and the white tiger cub were simultaneously extracted from the system's space. And almost the moment they appeared, heavenly phenomena erupted once more. Dark clouds billowed across the sky. With thunder and lightning flashing, I recognized this scene and was rendered somewhat speechless. Why are there heavenly phenomena again? They were always destined to occur. They were merely temporarily blocked by the system's space. Now that the host has revealed them, the phenomena naturally manifest, the system explained. The entire Xia Kingdom is surely about to be in an uproar once more, but I do not care. After all, these are things I never intended to hide forever. Setting that aside, 10 minutes ago, within the Li family estate, for the celebration of my birthday, Li Changcheng had spent a vast fortune, arranging thousands of banquet tables. Surrounding powers, clans, and common folk alike were all invited. Even the ruler of the Xia Kingdom had received an invitation. Today is a momentous occasion of joy for our Li family. I am aware that some among you hold grudges against me, but I hope that today you can temporarily set aside your grievances and dine in peace at this banquet. Li Changcheng stood before the crowd and spoke loudly, causing the heads of families with animosity toward the Li clan to bristle. Hearing these words, they all gritted their teeth in anger, but no matter how indignant they felt, they had no choice but to endure it. After all, the Li family now possesses a Kirin son, who may very well become even more terrifying than Li Changcheng in the future. It is likely that these clans will never be able to If the patriarch of the Li clan says so, then the grudges between us are naturally wiped clean. From here on out, I hope the Li clan head will grant us more favor. The patriarch raised his wine cup with a fawning smile. After so many years, any old grievances should have been laid to rest by now. After all, we are all citizens of the Xia Kingdom. Having said that, he drained his cup in one motion. The other patriarchs watched this scene, their faces reddening with fury. You have certainly said all the right words. You truly know how to conduct yourself in this world. If we cannot contend with the Li clan, do you think we cannot handle a small, insignificant family like yours? Some had already begun to secretly scheme, calculating how to deal with this man once the banquet came to an end. That is right. Indeed, we had long since forgotten those old matters. We are all one family now. Indeed, how would we dare to hold any resentment against the Li clan head? Is this not all just a misunderstanding? Come, let us drain this cup. From this day forward, we are allies. Each patriarch raised their cup in turn, the strong wine burning in their bellies, yet they could not suppress the rage smoldering within their hearts. But they all knew that from this day forth, many of their blood feuds would likely never be avenged. At that very moment, a booming voice echoed throughout the hall. The sovereign has arrived. The sound reverberated across the entire venue. Everyone was struck with utter shock. They set down their cups and chopsticks in unison and rose as one, gazing toward the entrance with expressions of profound awe. They had not expected the sovereign to arrive in person. To think that Li Changqing actually possessed the influence to invite the sovereign himself. In this moment, those who harbored enmity toward the Li clan felt their last shred of hope vanish. Every face turned ghastly pale. Li Changqing was merely a grand general, yet the sovereign had come in person to offer his congratulations. This alone spoke volumes. It was clear that Li Changqing held an extremely significant position in the heart of the sovereign. If that was the case, what means did they have left to seek vengeance? The next second, a massive lightning dragon lion, 5 meters tall with purple fur and dragon horns growing from its head, slowly stepped into view. Upon its back sat a golden throne. Xiao Qingjun sat upon it with a calm expression. He possessed a natural, imposing authority that required no anger, and the mere pressure radiating from him caused the legs of many to turn to jelly. Behind him followed an elite guard of 100 men, clad in heavy armor and mounted on war steeds. Among them, the 10 golden-armored cavalrymen leading the vanguard were all golden core cultivators, while the 90 silver-armored cavalrymen behind them were all at the foundation establishment stage. This was the elite personal guard of the sovereign of the lower kingdom. It was unexpected that they had all arrived in full force. Seeing this, the crowd immediately knelt in unison to pay their respects to the sovereign. Only Li Changqing remained standing, for he had long been granted the honor of kneeling before no one. Rise. Xiao Qingyun spoke in a calm, indifferent tone. Only then did the crowd dare to stand up. Upon seeing the sovereign arrive in person, the elders of the Li family hurried forward to receive him. Each of them wore a beaming smile, their backs bowed at 90-degree angles. Sovereign, you have arrived. Please take your seat. We have specially reserved the place of honor for you. It is a tremendous honor for our Li family that the sovereign has graced us with his personal presence. With your arrival, the Li family estate has truly been illuminated. These elders were all silver-tongued, pushing their tact and social finesse to the absolute limit. Xiao Chengyun gave a slight nod, leapt gracefully from the back of his violet lightning dragon lion, and began to walk forward at a measured pace. The elders did not even dare to breathe too loudly, only daring to raise their heads once Xiao Chengyun had passed. The others followed suit, and even Li Chongqing, the sovereign's trusted general, offered a respectful salute. Congratulations, General Li. Today you have welcomed a unicorn son into the world. The future prospects of the Li family are surely beyond measure, Xiao Chengyun said with a faint smile, though in truth, he had already seen it clearly back at the royal palace, that the child's birth had triggered a heavenly tribulation, only for the phenomenon to inexplicably vanish shortly after. All of this was proof enough. This child is by no means ordinary. His future achievements will certainly not be beneath those of Li Chongqing, and may even surpass them. This thought left Xiao Chengyun feeling deeply unsettled. His inner palace was filled with countless beauties, yet of the sons born to him, few could truly be called geniuses, and the vast majority were nothing more than mediocre. Conversely, Li Chongqing's firstborn was so heaven-defying, how could he not feel a pang of jealousy? I thank the sovereign for your generous praise, Li Chongqing replied briefly. He had never been one for hollow, flowery pleasantries. To him, true strength would always outweigh empty words. Xiao Chengyun, seeing this, did not press further, only smiling as he asked, I wonder, would you allow me to see this unicorn son later? Of course. It is the boy's great fortune that the sovereign wishes to see him, Li Chongqing hurriedly replied. He truly did not expect the sovereign to be so concerned about his son. Xiao Chengyun nodded, then turned and took his seat in the main chair. That seat had originally belonged to Li Chongqing, but now that the sovereign had arrived, it was naturally not his place to occupy it. Seeing him seated, the others finally dared to take their own places one after another. At this moment, Li Chongqing glanced toward the door, a flicker of disappointment crossing his eyes. Are they still refusing to come? They do not even wish to see their own grandchild. Those he referred to were naturally the parents of Su Wanning, the sovereign and his consort from the neighboring kingdom. He had dispatched men to deliver invitations several days ago, initially hoping that out of respect for the birth of their grandchild, they would at least make an appearance. Yet to his dismay, they had ultimately failed to show. The banquet began, and everyone ate and drank in high spirits. Li Chongqing composed himself and raised his voice to make a grand announcement. But the moment his words faded, the sky suddenly grew dark, black clouds roiled, and the same celestial phenomenon from before reappeared. Could the manifestation have returned? Everyone's movements came to an abrupt halt. They all looked up at the sky with expressions of shock and bewilderment, and even Xiao Chengyun's expression shifted slightly. What is happening today? Why is one phenomenon after another appearing? Was it not supposed to have concluded? Li Chongqing's heart tightened. Instinctively, he prepared to rush back to his residence. But at that instant, an elder suddenly spoke in astonishment. This is not a heavenly tribulation. This is a true celestial omen indicating the birth of a supreme treasure. Furthermore, the direction points directly to the clan leader's residence. Could it be that Li Xinglan possesses an innate Dharma treasure? But why would it manifest only now? Logically speaking, should it not have appeared at the moment of birth? Perhaps it is because the artifact is simply too powerful. Thunder boomed ceaselessly as the pitch-black clouds slowly tore open, revealing a gargantuan rift in the sky. 7-colored divine light descended from the void. The radiance illuminated the entire lower realm. Countless people looked up in awe, rendered speechless by the sight. Immediately thereafter, phantasms of gods and demons wielding divine armaments emerged within the heavens. They stood in 2 rows, their aura vast and boundless, as if welcoming the arrival of a supreme existence. Such a manifestation could only mean one of 3 things. Supreme sacred body had been born, a peerless artifact had manifested in the world, or perhaps a divine beast was descending, gazing at the gods and demons filling the sky. The hearts of the onlookers were filled with both shock and dread. Everyone longed to know exactly what it was that was about to emerge from that celestial rift. Suddenly, a roar that shook the very heavens and earth erupted from above. Everyone present trembled in unison, their minds reeled from the shock, and in that instant, a massive shadow slowly emerged from the rift. The hearts of the people skipped a beat. Is a divine beast truly arriving? Yet, in the next moment, a small white fox no larger than a kitten leapt out from the rift. It had fluffy fur and tiny fox fangs, with an expression so naive that it looked nothing like a majestic, awe-inspiring divine beast. On the contrary, it resembled a chubby kitten. It hopped spiritedly onto the ground and ran straight toward the clan head's manor. Is this truly a divine beast? Why does it look like a mere cat? There is not a shred of aura emanating from it. Has it deliberately concealed its presence, or are we simply unable to see through its guise? Perhaps it is so much stronger than everyone present that no one can fathom its cultivation level, or perhaps it possesses no cultivation at all. But that outcome is clearly impossible. After all, this is a naturally born divine beast. That direction, it seems, is where the natal divine beast of the clan head's son has appeared. The Li family went to investigate. In an instant, countless people could no longer sit still. Everyone rushed toward the residence of Li Chongqing. Li Chongqing possessed superior speed. With only a few strides, he arrived before his manor gates. "Gentlemen, this is the residence of Li. You have charged in here without saying a word. Is this not a bit too impolite?" Li Chongqing swept his cold gaze across the crowd. Those people finally stopped, feeling sheepish. Some rubbed their noses, others scratched their heads, but no one dared to press forward any further. After all, this was truly Li Chongqing's territory. No one dared to truly provoke his wrath. "Patriarch Li, we are merely curious. Could you allow us to see your son? A heaven-defying prodigy such as him, whose very birth incited the jealousy of the heavenly Tao, and who even possesses a companion divine beast. Such a sight is extremely rare throughout the entire Xuanchen immortal realm. We harbor absolutely no ill intentions. We merely wish to broaden our horizons." Hearing the nonsensical babble of these people, Li Chongqing felt only annoyance. As he prepared to speak and drive them away, a voice suddenly rang out. "Chongqing, is it convenient?" It was Xiao Chengyin. Hearing this, the crowd immediately and instinctively cleared a path. Xiao Chengyin walked out slowly with his hands clasped behind his back. Hearing the sovereign address him in such a manner, Li Chongqing was immediately overwhelmed by a sense of trepidation and gratitude. "Sovereign, for you to address me in such a way, I truly do not dare to accept it." He hurriedly bowed respectfully, saying, "If the sovereign truly wishes to see him, I, Li, shall immediately bring my son out for you to behold. There is no need. I have already brought him out." As these words were spoken, everyone present was stunned. The very next second, the chamber doors slowly creaked open. Su Wanning walked out of the room, carrying the child. Startled, Li Chongqing hurriedly turned around. Seeing Su Wanning's complexion was rosy, her spirit vibrant and radiant, she looked nothing like a woman who had just given birth. He hurried forward to support her. The elders and their wives standing to the side were also left dumbfounded. Having just given birth, how could her complexion be so healthy? This was simply too exaggerated. Could it be that Su Wanning had been concealing her true constitution all along? "Green, Your Majesty. Su Wanning is slightly indisposed. As she is carrying the child, she cannot kneel. Please forgive her. It is of no consequence." Xiao Qing let out a cold, sharp laugh, his gaze locking firmly upon my person. The child's appearance was indeed remarkable. Fair-skinned and delicate. Yet what puzzled him was that he could discern no fluctuations of cultivation base from within my body. To all appearances, I seemed to be a mere mortal. If I were truly ordinary, why would I have summoned the heavenly tribulation? Could it be solely because I share the same name and surname as the heavenly emperor? Thinking of this, Xiao Chengyin felt a secret sense of relief. His greatest fear was that both Li Chongqing and his son were absolute monsters, destined to one day completely usurp the imperial power. "Was that divine beast earlier also yours, madam?" Xiao Chengyin shifted his gaze towards Su Wanning. He had clearly seen a white tiger dart into the room, yet now it was nowhere to be found. "It is." Su Wanning nodded gently. No sooner had her voice fallen than a streak of white light suddenly emerged from my dantian, landing steadily upon the floor. That innocent and adorable white tiger cub once again appeared before everyone. Xiao Chengyin immediately used his divine sense to probe it, but no matter how he searched, he could not determine the realm of this white tiger. At that moment, his brows knit together instinctively. Failing to detect its level left only two possibilities. Either this divine beast was too weak, or this divine beast was far too strong. However, as it was a divine beast, it was obviously impossible for it to have no cultivation at all. Thus, there remained only one explanation. Its realm surpassed his own. Could it be the transformation realm, the tribulation transcendence realm? Or perhaps it had already ascended? A series of speculations surged through his heart, causing Xiao Chengyin's expression to shift visibly. If this divine beast truly possessed that level of strength, the Li family was poised to ascend to the heavens in a single bound. It was even possible for Li Chongqing to borrow the power of this beast to seize his throne. Seeing the strange look on Xiao Chengyin's face, Su Wanning subconsciously took a step back. Only then did Xiao Chengyin snap back to his senses, realizing he had nearly revealed his true intentions. He offered a quick, forced laugh. "Your son has clearly inherited the finest qualities of you both. He is truly handsome. I thank your majesty for the praise," Su Wanning replied with a smile. But at that very moment, a sudden crack of thunder erupted. Everyone was stunned into silence once again. What is happening? Has the celestial phenomenon not yet come to an end? Could it be that something else is about to manifest? A blinding crimson light suddenly erupted from the heavenly lake, moving at a speed so staggering that almost no one could track it. Only when it came to a halt before the crowd did, they finally realized it was a long spear. The shaft was entirely blood-red, entwined with ominous, swirling black and crimson chi. That aura was so terrifying that it sent shivers down everyone's spines. What grade of Dharma treasure could this possibly be? Its aura is simply too formidable. Could it be that this child possesses not only a natal divine beast but also natal Dharma treasures? The soul-devouring spear hummed incessantly, and under the gaze of everyone present, it suddenly transformed into a streak of crimson light. It plunged directly into my dantian. This time everyone was completely convinced. The long spear from moments ago was indeed my natal Dharma treasure. Yet the matter was far from over. The celestial phenomenon continued to unfold. Moments later, 2 more streams of flowing light descended from the heavens. They traveled with the speed of shooting stars. Upon landing before the crowd, they were revealed to be a gourd and a small pagoda. They too radiated an astonishingly powerful aura. Even while simply hovering there, they forced those present to hold their breath, not daring to even exhale loudly. Soon after, these 2 Dharma treasures also transformed into streaks of crimson light. They vanished into my dantian. In that brief moment, I had gained 3 natal Dharma treasures in addition to my natal divine beast. This spectacle left everyone present completely dumbfounded. If this child is allowed to mature, what will become of the world? He will undoubtedly be a hegemon in the future. Should the great sects and holy lands discover this, they would surely descend upon us to seize him. This is simply too extravagant. The aura of these 3 Dharma treasures is terrifyingly potent. I believe they are at least Heavenly Tao Supreme Treasures, if not more. Could they be chaotic Supreme Treasures? I am of the same opinion. Although I have never seen a true Chaos-grade treasure, the aura of a Heavenly Tao treasure should not be this terrifying. Looking at me, the eyes of the crowd were filled with admiration and envy. How could they have given birth to such a son? He was born carrying both a divine beast and supreme artifacts, while their own children were merely ordinary and unremarkable. Some had even begun to let their thoughts wander. Could it be that because I share the same name as the Heavenly Emperor, I have become imbued with the Emperor's own destiny? None could fathom the truth. It was clear that the aptitudes of Li Changqing and Su Wanning were not considered heaven-defying, yet they had somehow produced a monster like me. This was especially true for the elders of the Li clan. Upon seeing that I possessed a birth-bound divine beast and 3 precious artifacts, their expressions shifted visibly. The young master competition in 3 years will be difficult to predict. This child must absolutely not be left alive. Just as everyone was lost in their own thoughts, a sudden explosive shout echoed through the air. In a flash, a figure darted toward Su Wanning. A sharp blade swung directly toward me, sending sparks flying as it struck. Li Changqing instantly drew his sword, barely managing to block the strike. "Chen Xuance, you are courting death," Li Changqing roared. The one who had made the move was the head of the Chen clan. Chen Xuance had long harbored a deep grudge against the Li clan, and had been bitter rivals with Li Changqing for many years. Years ago, at an auction, he had been publicly humiliated by Li Changqing. He had harbored hatred in his heart ever since, waiting for a chance to strike. Seeing that his surprise attack had failed, Chen Xuance let out a cold cry, and the atmosphere in the plaza changed instantly. "Li Changqing, go to your death. Did you truly think we came here to congratulate your son? Today shall be the funeral of your Li clan. Such a freak of nature must not be allowed to live until tomorrow. Once he reaches maturity, none of us will have any path to survival. To ensure the safety of our own descendants, we must kill him today." The clan heads no longer feigned civility. They revealed their icy killing intent, drew their weapons, and charged toward the 3 of them. The onlookers were stunned, as none had expected such a treacherous scheme. They had arrived under the guise of celebration, but their true intention was to seize the opportunity to assassinate the head of the Li clan. One of the elders immediately bellowed a command. Although they were usually at each other's throats with schemes and internal rivalries, how could they worry about infighting at a moment of life and death? Once this branch of the Li clan fell, everything would be lost. The entire Li family would be annihilated. And when that time came, the fat piece of meat that is the Li family would inevitably be carved up and devoured by the other clans. The other elders reacted in a panic. First, they sent their wives and children to retreat. Then one by one they charged forward, while Xiao Chengyun stood in the crowd and quietly took a few steps back. It was evident he had no intention of intervening. If Li Changqing and I were both to die here today, to him, it would actually be the most favorable outcome. At that point, he could simply silence all the clans that had caused this disturbance. In this way, no one would ever know of today's events. It seems you have harbored this scheme for quite some time. Do you truly believe that I, Li Changqing, am so easily bullied? Li Changqing spoke in a cold voice. In the very next instant, the aura within his body erupted with a thunderous roar. A half-step transformation realm. That aura swept across the entire field. The instant shock caused everyone's complexion to change drastically. Half-step transformation realm. When did you achieve this breakthrough? Were you not at the peak of this nascent soul stage? Quickly. Retreat from what? With so many of us, it is not certain that we cannot kill him. Xiao Chengyun from a distance sensed this surge of aura. The pupils in his eyes suddenly constricted. His fists clenched instinctively. He had not expected this. Li Changqing was already at the half-step transformation realm. He had hidden his strength far too well. If not for today, he feared he would have remained oblivious his entire life. Today, Li Changqing must absolutely not be allowed to survive. And there is still that child. Thinking of this, Xiao Chengyun waved his hand violently, leading his team of war-mounted guards, and turned to leave immediately. Seeing him act this way, the others conversely, each revealed an expression of joy. Does the Kingdom Lord not intervening mean he has completely abandoned Li Changxing? Seeing Xiao Chengyun turn and depart, Li Changxing's gaze sank slightly, and a flicker of disappointment could not help but arise in his heart. He did not expect that the Kingdom Lord